can hear the angels calling, soft as stars that never die. Every heartbeat tells a story, every tear can turn to gold. There is healing in the silence, there is warmth inside.
Hi, everyone. I'm early. I had this scheduled for 5, and then I saw all of you in the chat already. So I'm like, let's go. Hi, everyone. Happy Saturday. I know, I absolutely love that little video. I caught myself. I should actually play the whole song for you. I caught myself in here singing like I was Amanda Marshall or something. You know what? So I'm going to try and find it, and I'm going to play it, at least the last half of it for you. It's really good. I made it for my channel. Where is it? Oh, I have so much stuff in my computer. Oh, here we are. Okay, so I made it for my channel. Is this the one, Tara? One sec, I'm going to let you hear it. Just making sure I got the right one here. Yep. Okay, so I'm going to play this for you. Honestly, I absolutely love this song. I think it's amazing. And I'm going to share it for you. AI did a fantastic job making this song. I feel like I'm Amanda Marshall when it's playing. Like, I swear, I'm singing it. I've had so many of you tell me that you've caught yourselves singing it in your house. That's hilarious. Okay, so let's listen to it. Ready? Tell me if you can hear that. Can you hear it?
In the quiet of the morning, where the sunlight meets the sky, I can hear the angels calling, soft as stars that never die. Every heartbeat tells a story, every tear can turn to gold. There is healing in
I love it.
There is warmth inside the cold. We are light, we are love, we are held by hands above. Through the shadows, through the rain, hope will find us. Once again, in another realm we rise, with open hearts and open eyes. Spirit leads and love will guide, and we are never far from light. Every candle, every prayer, every whisper in the night carries something sweet and sacred, like a feather made of light. There's a reason for the waiting, there's a purpose in the pain. Every ending brings a doorway, every loss can bloom again. We are light, we are love, we are held by hands above. Through the shadows, through the rain, hope will find us.
Love it.
So breathe in slow. Let it wash through you. Every scar can glow.
I need to learn it and sing it all.
Made new when the dark comes near. Hear the answer in your soul. You were never left alone. You are being led home. We are light. We are love. We are held by hands above. Through the shadows, through the rain, hope will find us. Once again, in another rise, with open hearts and open eyes. Spirit leads and love will guide.
I love it.
And we are never far from light. So breathe.
Very good.
Let your soul remember who you are.
It's so perfect.
Always made of stars.
You are made of stars. Oh, that's great. Okay. That was really good. I love that song. I made it with Suno, S-U-N-O, that Suno website. Really, really good. I'm glad you enjoyed it. I need to learn the song and then actually sing it. I could sing it. I can actually sing really, really well. I just get like really shy and self-conscious. But yeah, I can sing really well. At one point in time, I think some of you know this, I was actually friends with Shania Twain in the 90s, around 1995. And back then, I used to sing like all the time. And I sang for her one day. And she told me, she's like, Tara, you could do this. You could do this. But nah, never did it. Never did it. My sister can sing better than me, but yeah. So yeah, I knew Shania Twain for a while. I met her on the internet. It was freaking amazing. I'm doing better. I'm still in a flare, but it's not as bad today. I'm on quite a bit of medicine today, so just I might be a little bit loopy. I'm on I have to take Lyrica for my fibro, and Lyrica is kind of like, I think it's kind of like a gabapentin type thing. It's for nerve. I think it's for nerve pain. So, yeah. So I'm doing better. For some reason, something threw me into a complete flare yesterday. Touch wood. Oh, I don't have any wood around here. Touch wood. I don't get flares very often. And thank God, because when I lived in Arizona, I was so sick. You can see it on all my videos. I was so sick. There was days where I literally couldn't walk. I couldn't walk. And like my doctor down there was actually looking for an electric chair for me. Like, what a change in life. Like, I am 1,000% changed. It's wild. I truly, truly believe I was sick because of the dirt down in Arizona. The fungus and the mold and the spores in the desert dirt was making me totally, like, I was absolutely disabled. It was wild. So, yeah. So I wanted to jump on. I have a lot of work to do. I'm making cream. I'm making Victoria's Secret Love Spell magnesium cream right now. And I thought we should go. You can watch stuff with me as I'm working. Yeah, we had a beautiful day. You know what's crazy though? I didn't get to do anything about the car show. I took like a couple minute video at the car show, but it was pouring rain. like all Savvy June and I were soaked. Like by the time we got back to the truck, my hair was dripping wet. Like we got absolutely slammed by just a rain squall. Yeah, it was crazy. June was like, "What are we doing?" She was so pissed. And then it started to hail. And so by the time we got back to the truck, June was covered in hail, little hail bits. So she's passed out on the couch now. She's like, "What a shitty day. That just sucked. I didn't get to go to the doggo park, like nothing." So, but it was a beautiful drive. I'm glad I got to share that with you. That is one of my favorite drives from Kelowna to Penticton. It's just absolutely beautiful. You drive along Okanagan Lake, right along the lake shore. It's so beautiful. So, yeah, I'm glad you enjoyed it. Okay, so we're going to just dive right into things today. I want to actually cover some Lynette Hooker stuff today. And some catch up on Nancy Guthrie stuff. I've not done anything on Nancy in like weeks. And Lynette Hooker, well, I've never really done anything on Lynette's case. So I've already given you all like a preliminary reading I'm getting on Lynette. And I'm going to just I'm just going to tell you my reading I get on the whole situation right now before we dive in and start watching stuff. I find Lynette Hooker's case very simple and straightforward. Like I can get the reading done in 5 minutes here. I see that there was massive abuse. There was abuse happening. Him against her. I see alcoholic problems. I see them fighting all the time and like being stuck on a boat together 24/7. I can't even fathom what that was like. So I'm getting tons of abuse. Um tons of abuse. I see the day it happened, they went to some restaurant or something, right? Pub, restaurant. I'm picking up that he was absolutely smashed, drunk. And she was probably pretty tipsy too. That's what I'm getting. The two of them were pretty wasted. Um, I'm flat out getting this story he's talking about in the dinghy boat. That's a load of bullshit in my readings. Like I'm getting that's just a load of shit. Okay, I'm getting that this is his story, his cop out bullshit story. I'm getting my readings are telling me that they did make it back to the boat, the big boat, and something happened on the boat. They had a massive conflict on the boat. Sorry, I don't mean to breathe right into it. I always do this. I see a massive struggle and argument and fighting on the boat, the big boat. And she had a body purse, like I keep wondering, is it her passport purse? Like a cross purse that went down. I'm flat out getting that she was wearing this purse, and he used this. I'm getting he used the straps of the purse to strangle her. Flat out, in rage. Whatever this crossover purse is, I don't know if authorities have ever found this purse or not. That's flat out what I'm getting. It was their important paperwork or something she always carried on her when they were out. So I'm getting they got back to the big boat. She was still wearing it, and he used the straps of it to strangle her. That's flat out what I'm getting. And I'm getting they need to search the water underneath where the boat was. Like, I've had so many people message me and go, "Do you think she's on land?" I don't. I see she is under the water. They need to look under the water where the boat was parked. I'm getting he's dumped her under the water. He said she fell over the side. Yeah, she sure did, because he pushed her. He pushed her. Um, and there's something around. He's wrapped something around her. I'm getting ropes. He's wrapped. So disgusting. I'm sorry. This is just my readings, okay? I hate having to say this shit. I'm sorry, but this is what I'm getting, okay? He's wrapped her up in ropes. Like, when you're on a sailboat, there's tons of ropes, right? Ropes and something heavy. Like, I don't know if they found the anchor to the boat. Is the anchor still there? If not, then I'm getting he's used the anchor, or he had a secondary anchor, and he's wrapped the anchor chain and the anchor around her, and boom, down she goes. He's flat out. That's what I'm getting. He's dumped her. She's underneath where the boat was with something heavy. If it wasn't an anchor, it was something very heavy. Like, I don't know if he had heavy chains on. He might have had heavy chains, or even maybe fishing weights. Like, you can get those big balls for fishing. They're heavy. My dad had them, heavy fishing balls, weights, lead weights. Um, Something. He's done something to weigh her down and throw her in the water. She's in the water under the where the boat was. Flat out. She's probably drifted a ways with the current now. And unfortunately, with way things happen in water, eh, some things, they'll be able to find some stuff eventually. It might not have come up yet. When bodies are in water, they don't do well in water. Gases form and whatnot. So I'm getting that they will find some stuff. They will. Some stuff's going to wash up on shore. That's gross, but it's true. That's just how it is. Water is very, very bad on remains. Like, I know it firsthand. It's nasty. One of the ladies that I helped find here in British Columbia, she was found in the Fraser River, and the water had done so much damage to her that her remains were in pieces. And so they found the pieces. Not all of it, but some of it. So that's what I'm getting. It's the same thing. I'm getting flat out, he pushed her. Was she alive when he pushed her? I'm getting no. He strangled her. She might have been unconscious. Very well could have been just unconscious. And pushed her over. Very well could have drowned. You're like unconscious, could have drowned. I actually heard her. I heard her say, "He pushed me over." And bastard. She keeps saying he's a bastard. He's a bastard. That bastard pushed me over. So that's it. There's nothing else to the reading. I'm getting flat out abuse. I'm getting alcohol. I'm getting fighting. I'm getting strangulation. I'm getting a side body purse. He used that to strangle, and used something really whatever he had on that boat that was heavy. There might have been, because were they docked? No, they weren't docked, were they? Something really freaking heavy. Like, I want to say an anchor, but I don't know if they found an anchor or not. They did have more than one anchor. Okay, have they found both of the anchors? Anybody know that? Because that's what I'm getting. If one of the anchors missing, then there you go. That's it. Yeah, he tied her up. Yep. He tied her up. Lots and lots and lots of rope. Like, I know on boats they carry lots of rope, right? That heavy, thick rope, the boat rope. wrapped her up in that, and then whatever else he had that was I'm getting chains, heavy chains, and like an anchor. Good. I'm glad they've Coast Guards got stuff. So that's what I have for her. I don't see her on land. I don't see her anything like that. I see she's under the water, and just natural water, water erosion stuff. They will be able to find some things fairly soon, I would say, if they're not popping up yet. I know that's gross, but it's just reality here. Water doesn't do good things to bodies, and yeah. So they will find some stuff, hopefully soon. They need to dive. Have they not dived in the water under where the boat was? If they've not dived, I'm sure they're not watching me, but if they've not dived, they need to dive. So yeah. Hi, Melissa. Hi, let them. Who am I missing here? Hi, Susan. Hi, Tammy. So that's my reading on the net hooker. It's just very simple, straight to the point. Yeah, he's a shithead. That's flat out what I'm getting. Everything he's saying is a lie. Hi, Carol. Hi, Charmin. I'm getting flat out. He's lying. He's lying about everything. This dinghy story he's trying to make this dinghy story like his alibi. It's a load of shit. In my readings, according to my readings, okay? No problem, Melissa. That's fine, babe. All good. So that's what I'm getting, according to my readings. He's full of shit. He's going to get nailed soon. They're going to he's done. But they need to find her, and I'm adamant they need to dive. The Coast Guard needs to dive underneath the boat wherever it was parked. Hi, Arctic. The splash matches, absolutely, yes. Yep. Totally matches. Whatever he had on there that was heavy, like an anchor, if there was a second anchor. That's the big thing. Hi, Jules. Good to see you. Oh, it's pouring rain, which is fantastic. We need rain so bad. We are in such a bad drought here. So, yeah, it's pouring rain. So, I have a lot of work to do. I am making Victoria's Secret love spell magnesium cream. So, I wanted to watch some stuff, and you guys can hang with me while I'm watching. If these men don't want to marry, I know, I get you. I totally get it, Melissa. Sure do. Sick, isn't it? Yes, this is new. Yep. I think I have it listed on the website. Let me look here. It's amazing. Victoria's Secret love spell is just to die for. Do I have it listed? I should have it listed. Do 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 do. Oh no, I don't have it listed. I'm making it for the Mini Lux people ultimately. All the products I make first go for my Mini Lux customers. And then whatever's left goes up for the other people. Okay, so I'm going to just I have to list this. Give me a second here. Where are we? What should I name this? Love spell? I've got one left, so I'm restocking it. It's amazing. Love spell. So I will make a listing right now. Love spell magnesium body cream. Seduction, lustful, love spell, fragrance, magnesium, benefits, body cream, natural shea butter. All right, give me 2 seconds. I'm putting a listing up. Infuse your skincare ritual with romance and wellness. This luxury body cream blends the enchanting essence of Love Spell fragrance with magnesium-rich formula to soothe tired muscles and calm the mind. Nourished by natural shea butter, it melts into your skin, leaving it soft, hydrated, and delicately scented. Perfect for an evening of self-care or giving to someone special. Let every application be a moment of magic and rejuvenation. Okay, there you go. That's a good description, right? Okay. I love that. Okay, so I'm going to probably make 6 more, I would say. I love that description. Anyways, it's a fantastic scent. It's like one of the top sellers of Victoria's Secret. And I've got the stuff. I've got the scent. Okay, I'm just putting it up on the website now. Body products. Tara's favorite. There we go. And then I don't have a picture. I need to take a picture. So hold, please. Hold 2 seconds. No, it's not going to work. Give me a sec. Okay. Hold 1 sec here. All right, that looks good. Okay, so I'm going to put this up on the website. 2 seconds here. A reminder to everybody, my Mother's Day sale is still on. You can get 25% off until Monday. Everything, it ends Monday. And that includes this new stuff I'm making right now. Okay, 1 sec. And the number one thing is for Mini Lux subscribers, people that were wanting to join and get your monthly Mini Lux box from me. Now is the time to join because it's 25% off. And that price will be locked in for you. So like as my prices change over the years or whatever, you get locked in at your price. Okay. There we go. Okay. It's up on the website now. Yay. So that's what I'm making. Have a look-see at my website. All right. Okay. So we're going to watch some stuff. Yep. Thank you so much. Thank you. And yeah, 25% off until Monday. My sale's been on for like 2 weeks. Melissa, what are we reading here? Took a hard fall to the knee. Oh, you replaced. Oh, I'm so sorry, Melissa. Take it easy, okay? No falling in the garden, girl. Okay, so we are going to watch Ashley Bamfield. So, video credit goes to Ashley Bamfield. She is just amazing at Drop Dead Serious. So, this is going to be fair use. Please give Ashley a subscribe and tell her I sent you. All right. You guys ready? I enjoy watching her too. I think she's fantastic. So I'm going to be making the cream while we're watching, okay? I love how Ashley is just straight to the point. She's kind of like me, right? She doesn't bullshit around. She's just straight to it.
I have something to tell you tonight. I just learned something I had heard about before, could never confirm, and now I'm hearing it from probably the best source, or at least one of the best sources I've had on the story of Lynette Hooker missing in the Abacos in the Bahamas. You already know that her lying husband, Brian Hooker, says she just bounced off the back of the dinghy and I never saw her again, right? And then everybody has had to,
Okay, so he's saying she just bounced off the back of the dinghy. I'm getting she bounced off the back of the big boat, and it's because he threw her there. He threw her there. He threw her over.
launch hell and high water to try to find Lynette, only to realize his story's so preposterous. Now we're really finding all the evidence to prove him wrong. And I just found something. As it turns out, somewhere around 9:30 at night, and that would be more than 2 hours after Brian and Lynette left the Abaco Inn, and only minutes later she bounced off the back of the boat and he floated to Marsh Harbor, and you know the rest of the story. 9:30, post 9:30 at night, when nobody has been on Soulmate, right? Their 46-foot sloop that they live aboard for the last 4 years. That's where the dinghy was headed when all hell broke loose. They never made it to Soulmate. Well, around 9:30 at night.
If I'm right, I'm getting flat out that Lynette hated this. She hated being stuck on the boat with him all the time.
A witness reported hearing a massive splash off of that boat.
Wow, really?
That boat was only parked about 100 yards offshore. And there are some lovely homes right there. And that witness, she heard a big splash.
Yep,
And
that's
it was
what
so
he did.
significant that it registered with her. Not only that, I have a little more detail about those flares.
That's what he did.
Remember the flares that a group
They need to
of
find what
witnesses said
he's
they
used.
saw
They
a
need to
flare around 8
find what
o'clock at
he's
night?
used to drop her.
Timing may be off, but there's more
Is there
resolution
a second
to the
anchor
flare
that's
story
missing?
now. And it's about the direction of the flare. Because I've always said if a flare went up into the sky, everybody would have seen it. We would have had so many more reports. But now I'm finding out why we may not have. All of this comes to us from Jim Todd, who is a volunteer with Hopetown Volunteer Fire and Rescue. I have said this about them before. They are entirely volunteer. They are entirely donation-based. Please give generously to Hopetown Volunteer Fire and Rescue. Because those guys are heroes, and Jim Todd is a hero. He is a saint in the story.
Hopetown Volunteer. An excellent organization to donate to if you're able to do so.
Story of getting justice for Lynette Hooker. Jim Todd was one of the first people to pull Brian up onto the rescue boat after he'd been marooned on shore at 4 o'clock in the morning after floating across the Sea of Abaco after losing his wife. You know the bullshit story. Jim Todd rescued this guy, brought him up onto the rescue vessel and said, let's go find your wife. Went to Soulmate with him right away.
He's so full of shit.
And he's got something to say about the timing, about when they got up next to Soulmate and what happened within the hour that they were there. It is big news. It is coming in just a moment. You're going to hear from him. The discrepancy about Brian Hooker telling his mother-in-law that he beached up on Marsh Harbor after a terrifying night at sea, having no power because Lynette bounced out with the keys. Bullshit. And then when he was beached up on Marsh Harbor, he went knocking on 2 doors. Nobody answered. And then flagged down a vehicle who just took off without him. Well, Jim Todd is about to tell you why that too is 100% preposterous.
Yep.
Almost impossible, in fact.
Bullshit.
Totally implausible. Far-fetched. Inconceivable. These are the words from a stoic and mindful rescue officer who said the story that Brian Hooker told his mother-in-law about trying to get help doesn't work. You're going to hear him say every reason why and tell you logistically why it couldn't have happened that way. And while all of this new information is coming in, I can tell you this. Everything that you saw at the Coast Guard station in Fort Pierce, Florida, the pictures that we got, first the pictures we got of them towing the soulmate in, and then putting it up at the dock, then CGIS agents, United States Coast Guard Investigative Service, those agents going on and off the boat, carrying things, wrapping it in crime scene tape. Well, guess what? Word is that they got a gold mine, forensic gold mine.
Good.
Like, shit is getting real, Brian Hooker.
That is fantastic news. Hopefully they charge him with first-degree murder. That's fantastic news.
First of all, we know that they had computers and tablets, everything on board. We knew that. We already knew that. All we wondered was, did he take those things off? Because he had 4 days after Lynette went missing, to the point where he went into detention and then got seriously scared about being in the Bahamas and bounced right out of there. What was he able to do to the boat? What did he take out of there? If he took anything, because he's not charged with anything, right?
4 days. That's crazy.
But there was a lot on that boat.
He had 4 days to clean up. That's just absolutely ridiculous.
A lot. Like, we know for a fact, the 2 engines that we've seen with our own eyes, those have telemetrics, those models. Basically, you can hook them up to your phone to say, how much time do I have left on my electric engine and all the rest. So 2 engines. I wonder if he still had one on board. I wonder if maybe one could be switched out for the other
yummy.
and then put back on to make
This
it look
cream
like it can go anywhere.
This cream smells absolutely amazing. Amazing. Oops. Oop, no, I don't want that. That one. Okay, yeah, it smells so good, you guys.
Bahamians still have the dinghy and one of the engines. I wonder if they were able to get an engine down in the hold when they raided the boat. They sure carried a lot of stuff off board. And you know what? Brian was a, how do I say this, tech nerd geek, geeking out, networking the boat,
Look, Donna
Lynette said in one of her discussions with family. Yeah, so there's a lot on that boat. And from what we are hearing, it was a gold mine for investigators. I want you to now listen to this incredibly insightful conversation. It is the 3rd time I have now spoken with Jim Todd from Hopetown Volunteer Fire and Rescue. Give generously, please. And each time he calls me to say that he's just learned more information that opens up a whole other can of worms. And boy, is this a can of worms. Here's my conversation with Jim. Jim, the latest information that we received from Darlene,
I will. I'm
Lynette's
good. Thanks,
mom,
babe.
was that Brian told her that after he washed up on shore in Marsh Harbor, he knocked on 2 doors that didn't answer. What are the chances that that actually happened?
The chances of that are essentially 0, because where we found the dinghy and where we observed him standing next to the dinghy early on that Sunday morning, we have a clear location of where that is in Marsh Harbor. And
It is kind of a
nothing
rose
but
gold,
scrub
yes.
bush, very thick scrub bush directly to the west. And if you walked a great distance, hundreds of yards through thick brush, there's nothing there. There's eventually a little commercial building.
Want
And again, this
something
would
to
have been
heal
happening
to
at 4
heal.
o'clock on Sunday morning.
Well, I've
There
got
would be
pain
no
cream.
lights back there. It would be like
I
making a
made pain
decision
cream. There's new
to
pain
walk through
cream
the
on the
deepest,
website.
darkest
It's called Botanical
jungle,
Ease.
heading due
It's for
west,
pain.
into the island.
And like
Where the
swelling,
other option
inflammation,
is if you
arthritis, that type of
wash up
thing.
on this shore in your dinghy, for the last 30 minutes, you will have seen, or even longer, you would have seen the boatyard at Calcutta, 150 yards to the north. And that boatyard is extremely brightly lit up at night. I mean, it's a landmark.
So
at
he's
night.
just
That boatyard is
absolutely
so,
full of shit.
lit up. So if you're coming across the water, whether you're being blown by the wind or blown and also paddling, the boatyard is a giant beacon. That's where to go. And if you were to get washed up on the beach, given the choice of going a reasonably short distance along the shore to the extremely bright lights and every reason to believe that there would be civilization and assistance, that's what you would do. The alternative would be to go south where there was almost inaccessible and no houses for a great, great distance, or to go west a great distance through the bush. Virtually impossible.
Okay. So that I'm trying to sort of get a beat on Brian, making sure that I think one of his texts even to you was that, did you check there's a subdivision back there? What is he referring to? Because I have heard that there is a subdivision around there somewhere, but where is it?
Okay, so the subdivision stuff that he's talking about, I think he's just talking for bullshit. He's trying to get them to look in different areas, like a distraction. That's totally what I'm reading here. There's nothing to do with the actual subdivision there. I'm getting he is just a distraction. They're trying to get them to look in a different direction. It's part of his story plan.
And how accessible is it?
Yeah.
And Melissa, let me look here. Give me a second. Let me look at Melissa. Give me a minute. I do have pain cream. Yes, I do. Yep. Yes, I do. It's on my website. It's called Botanical Ease. It's really good. It's frankincense and peppermint with magnesium and MSM. Okay. So yeah. Thank you, Donna. You're fantastic, Donna. Thank you, honey. Next week, you can wait if you want to wait, Melissa. I've got stuff next week I'm going to be making with menthol crystals. So it's going to be like a really minty A5 type feel. Okay. Gonna try and make something that's like, menthol type thing, tiger bomb type thing. Okay, so this is the part that takes a while. Filling these containers takes a while. All right, so let's keep going.
That's a little bit different. That is further south from where the boat is. There is a community called Sweetings Village. And I might speculate that there's 30 houses in this area. Roads come from the main street in Marsh Harbor out toward the shore. They don't come right up to the shoreline, but they come up near the shore. And so there is a community there, but you might remember that the green flotation device was found a couple of 100 yards south of the dinghy, and
Yeah.
then Sweeting's village was in that area. But there's water inlets there that you wouldn't be able, from the dinghy, you wouldn't be able to walk
Yeah,
straight
exactly,
to that
Donna. Thanks, babe.
community because there's a little water inlet. And again, it's pitch black. And if you're stumbling your way south along the shore, it would be just virtually impossible to go.
Yeah. I don't see her on the shore here. Like, I don't see her up along the shore anywhere. At least not yet. You know, I hate to say that, but I see that things eventually will be washing up onto the shore. But I don't see her on the shore right now. People have asked me that hundreds of times. I don't see her on land. I'm getting he weighed her down with something really heavy.
300.
It very well could have been rocks. Like, I don't know, maybe he had some boulders or something on the boat. I don't know. Something really heavy. Or cinder blocks, bricks.
150, 200 yards south in the pitch black along the shore with no beacon or nothing drawing you in. And then you would have hit an inlet and you would have again had to have turned west into the island and go through more jungle to get directed back in. So that subdivision
Yeah, I don't see it.
would not have been a reasonable approach direction to go in at 4:00 on Sunday morning. And
Yeah, it's part of his
to your
story. It's
point,
bullshit.
when he made a reference to me in a text message about the subdivision, if I recall correctly, it was in the context of where we found the flotation device.
Yeah, interesting that he knew right away that there was this subdivision near the flotation device and was so surprised that the flotation device would
Right.
float all the way across the Sea of Abaco with him, just a couple hundred yards away.
That was an odd statement when he said it. I think he may have used the word incredible. He says it's incredible.
It's part of his story. That's it. It's part of his alibi type story. In my opinion and in my readings. He's lying.
What was the noun that he used? It's incredible that it was only 150 yards from me the whole time. It didn't strike me as all that incredible because that's the way the wind was blowing. And yeah.
Right? That's the flotation pattern, unless you didn't float there, or maybe you placed it there. So, I mean, I think it is so critical to just summarize what you just said. If you're really truly floating with no power and you are marooned and you are coming up on shore, presumably you've had a couple of hours watching those lights getting closer and
Yep.
closer. I think he might have even at some point have said that he tried to paddle to get towards the boatyard. And you would know full well if you're trying to get to the boatyard, paddling or hoping to get to where bright lights are instead of dark jungle, your first inclination would not to be to walk away from the lights.
No,
it would be to walk towards the civilization.
Right. It's overwhelmingly obvious. It would be like if someone said, I need to walk 100 miles to the east, but I'm going to walk 13,000 miles to the west and end up in the
Okay.
same place.
All right, Melissa. Thank you, honey. Thank you, babe. I'll send that out to you. It'll help you. It's got MSM in it too, which is glucosamine, magnesium and glucosamine. So it will help with our, swelling, inflammation, joint movement, that type of thing. So thank you very much. Hi, Susie. Oh no, Susie's not. Yeah, hi Susie.
It was just overwhelmingly obvious. That's where civilization is. It's so well lit up that that's where help is going to be. And it's just incomprehensible that somebody would not go toward the light when the dinghy was only about 150 yards, if I recall. Maybe a little bit longer, further,
Yeah.
but about 150 yards.
By the way, brings me to the point where if you were going to, he did say something to Blaine, I think at some point, Blaine Stevenson, he said, I had to really bushwhack my way through. I'm paraphrasing here, but effectively what I recall from the statement was I really had to get through the thicket.
I can't wait for
getting
you,
through
Susie.
all of this jungle to get to that boatyard. Couldn't you just go right along
Hi,
the shore?
Vexing.
Yeah. And
I love you too, girl.
You would have gone straight along the shore. The shore would have
Few
been
crayons short
rough,
of the box. Yeah, I got it. Yeah.
But as
For
I
sure.
recall, if there is brush that comes out all the way to the shore,
I'm
it's
making
just,
Victoria's
small
Secret
little,
Love Spell body magnesium
growths
body cream.
out to the shore. It's mostly walking along rocks to the boatyard area.
He also mentioned something to Darlene about the rocks being very sharp on his feet. And
So if you want to grab stuff, do it
remember
now.
you
My
telling me
sale is
something
on
very
until
specific
Monday.
about what
25%
Brian was
off.
wearing when you rescued him that
That includes
morning,
the stuff I'm
just a few
making right
hours after
now.
he went up on the shore. What was he wearing that sort of
So
doesn't
go
go
for
well
it.
with the whole description of the rocks
Sign
being
up for a
sharp on his feet?
monthly
He was wearing
mini Lux box. You get
I
a
think
box
the
of
phrase that
products
people
every
use
month.
is sliders, but
Every month
like
it's a
flip-flop,
surprise.
but
Slides.
Okay, he was wearing slides, and
so if
they're
you sign
fairly
up for
common
Mini
down
Lux
here.
box now, you actually get it at
What maybe people
25%
would
off,
think of as
and your
flip-flops or
price
something
will
like
be
that.
locked
Some of
in
the rock
the
can
system
be
for you. So that means you'll pay that price every
rough,
month instead
and
of
in pitch dark,
full price.
it would be challenging to walk across the rock. Sometimes people refer to it as moon rock because it's kind of spiky from thousands of years of erosion. But the flip-flops or the
Ooh, God, I
slides
just got a
would have
massive
made it,
shock.
very practical to work your way
Oh,
across the
smells
rock.
so good.
You certainly wouldn't decide to go inland through the
Good to see you.
almost
How are you,
impenetrable
Vexing?
bush versus staying on the rocks on the shore.
And you'd keep your slides on while going over all that rough rock. And by the way, Nathan has showed us incredible video of what that rock really looks like. It does look very sharp. You keep your slides on.
Sure. Yeah, you would definitely keep them on.
So Jim, just again to revisit the option
Okay,
for
it's not moving. What's going on?
clad Brian Hooker washing up on shore would be to go to the
All
bright
right,
lights
so
of the
Love
civilization
Spell
off to the right about
magnesium
150
cream.
yards that he's been watching as he's been floating slowly closer and closer to Marsh Harbor, or to go into the blackness.
Yeah.
Which if you look from Google.
Hi, Crimson. How's it going? Happy Saturday. I'm making cream and we're watching Lynette Hooker stuff.
Google Maps. You might say, sure, there's a subdivision close by. But realistically and topographically, if you're a local who knows better, it's almost unreachable on
Savvy
foot
just had a
from
nap.
where he landed that dinghy.
Savvy and June
that's
both
exactly
had
right.
naps.
I mean, it's almost like you pose the question as option one and option two. There really isn't an option two. If you're 150 yards from the bright lights, you obviously would go to the bright light.
That's always so sweet when your husband falls asleep because the dogs fall asleep. Like they nap together. June gets all scoochy on the couch and Savvy passes out. The comfort factor, it's so cute.
Versus the dark bush.
Yeah, I have a much more coarse way of saying it. I say it's bullshit.
Hi,
I'm
June
sure
Buggin.
you have a more eloquent way of putting it. What would that be?
Oh, were you sleeping?
Inconceivable might be a way of saying
Hi,
it's
baby.
inconceivable
Are you
that
having
someone
napples?
would go either west or south when there's a extremely well lit boatyard 150 yards to the north.
Talk to me a little bit about the idea of
Yeah,
knocking
she's so
on
cute.
doors. Let's just say he made the inconceivable
You did
trip.
great. Good.
Um,
Glad to hear
Would there
that.
only be 2 doors to knock on? Because
I love you all.
thought there
Thank
were
you all
close
so
to
much for
30
being
in
here.
that subdivision.
Yeah, there is something about something like 30.
Tomorrow we're gonna do some Tomorrow we're gonna do some member stuff. So please join if you want to be a member. Join memberships. It really, really helps out the channel. It helps me out more than you know. And I got a lot of stuff on my channel for members. Like member stuff is more life, like it's personal. Like you're part of my family. I include you in our lives, basically. You get to see all that type of stuff. Plus, I do, we have the members group readings. That is tier number 2 of memberships. So please join. Please join as a member. That'd be fantastic. If somebody gifts you a membership, please thank them. Actually, you know what? Let me look here. I might actually have some. I might be able to gift some. Let me look. Okay, let me check. Oh, I do. Okay. I've got memberships I can give out. How many people we got in here? Okay, so I can give out free memberships. You ready? Everybody ready? Where's the button? Here. Everybody ready? I can give out 10 free memberships. Let's go. First 5, here we go. Jax, Dark Canadian, Beth, Mama Bear, Adela. Congratulations, you all got memberships. Congratulations. Welcome to another realm. Unfortunately, I can't pick specific people. It does it on random. Okay, so we're going to do 5 more. Hold your fingers crossed. Jules, Wild Child, Mandy Fuller, Aaron Sense, Virgo. There you go. Congratulations. You've all got memberships. Why are these people not chatting? I see you all. Why are you not chatting? Hi, everybody in the background. Come on in. Welcome to another realm. Hit the thumbs up. Welcome, welcome, welcome. And I'm going to play something quick. Welcome, welcome. You're welcome, babes. You're welcome. Nice. Thank you, Jenny. Nice. Welcome, Jules. Through the shadows, through the rain, hope will find us. Once again, in another realm we rise. In open eyes, love will guide. Never far from life. Everywhere. Thank you very much for joining. Thank you very much. I'm glad you all received memberships. Welcome to another realm. When your membership expires, please consider actually... Oh, no sound. You didn't hear that? All right, one sec. You didn't hear that? What the hell? Okay, give me a sec. I'll do it again. I'll do it again. So welcome to another round. You got it now?
In the quiet of the morning, where the sunlight meets the sky, I can hear the angels calling, soft as stars that never die. Every heartbeat tells a story, every tear can turn to gold. There is healing in the silence, there is warmth inside the cold. We are light, we are love, we are held by hands above. Through the shadows, through the rain,
Hope will find us.
once again, in another room we rise with open hearts and open eyes. Spirit leads and love will guide. We are never far from light. Every candle,
Every prayer. All right, that's for the new people. Welcome to another realm. Thank you for being here. Please consider joining as a member when your membership expires in 30 days. I appreciate you all so much. This channel is about my life. It's not just about my psychic ability or covering true crime. It's my life, it's my business, it's my husband, it's my dog, it's my world. And I try to share as much of my world with you as I can. And you guys mean so much to me. You really mean so much to me. I did send you the candle. I don't remember what the scent was. I think the scent was I think it's the Brazilian Bum Bum Crimson. Okay, I just want to see. Yeah, you like it? Good. Okay, I want to show you what I did today. Oh, there. Okay, so here we are. One sec. Un momento, please. I'm going to show you the car show we went to quickly. I just did like a 2-minute video today. It was pouring rain. We were absolutely drenched. It was kind of funny. Savvy and I are like, it reminds me of when we were kids. We used to walk around and just get absolutely soaked. Didn't care. Beers in our pockets and yeah. Walking through our little town with beers in our pockets. It's crazy. Savvy and I. Okay. All right. So dancing in the rain. Exactly. All right. So this is what we did today. Look at this beautiful Challenger. Beautiful, beautiful Challenger. Ah, nice. It had a Hellcat engine in it. Those of you that know what I'm talking about. Come on, see?
15 years ago.
Yeah, fill up a big gulp with wine. Yeah, there and go bowling. That's great. Look at that Camaro. That is my dream car right there. One of these days, I will own one. That is my dream car. And it was starting to hail as we were standing there, and all the car guys were like, holy shit, they're beautiful cars in the hail. So yeah, that's what we did today. And then I took a couple videos of the drive home. Let's see what this one is. So thank you for being part of my life, you guys. You guys mean the world to me. My customers, and you're not just subscribers, you're customers, and I appreciate all of your dedicated support. You mean the world to me. Okay, so this was the drive home. This is just a quick 4-second blob clip. Isn't that beautiful? We live in absolute paradise here. Oops. Yeah, very, very lucky to live here. Reminds me of the movie Better Off Dead, the Black Camaro. Yes. Your first car was a 65 Impala SS. Very nice, Fexing. That's awesome. Okay, let's finish this.
I believe 3 long streets from the more major street along the subdivision, the distance of the subdivision, and there's houses on both sides. And if someone were to get onto these paved roads, you would go to the first house and knock on the door, and then you would just walk up the street. And the street is fairly long. Each one of these 3 streets is fairly long. But once you're on the street, you would stay on it and just knock on doors. Now, it's not like a tight subdivision, so it's not like there's a house every quarter acre. But you just walk up the street knocking on doors until you roused somebody. You wouldn't try two.
Right.
You wouldn't try 2 doors in this neighborhood and then turn around and go the other way.
All the way back to the boatyard.
Right, back through the difficult terrain that you would have had to cross to get to the subdivision.
Right.
Yeah,
and
there's no way.
You decided not to go through that horrible journey through the thickets and the inlet that you'd have to cross. You decided to go out via the roadway.
There's no
that
way.
His
His story, he's full of shit.
To go out via the roadway. Yes. Yeah, none of it makes sense.
Yeah, me too, Vexing. Me too.
These are homes that are occupied. These aren't like big, expensive vacation homes that people are sometimes in for a month or so a year. These are people who live there in these homes in Marsh Harbor.
Yeah, absolutely. These are not vacation homes. They are real people who live and work here. There are.
Can you imagine
who?
Can you imagine having some guy arrive and knock on your door and he'd just been fucking swimming for hours and hours, and his wife is missing? Yeah, bullshit. Those people, if that was true, those people would have been all over it and calling the police.
This is their life, and they're here all the time.
And they would have answered the door to a man who was in distress, who had just been marooned on the on the shore of Marsh Harbor.
Yeah, I mean, they would have answered the door and given help. And if they were concerned, they would have called the police and brought help.
Right.
Yes. Let's talk about this vehicle, the mystery man that I put out an appeal to on the podcast. If it was you, call me. I don't expect a call anytime soon. What did you make of this story that I waved down a passing car 4 a.m. in a remote area of Marsh Harbor where I don't know that there are any roads near where he washed up. And the car just took off.
Okay, what? So he actually tried flagging down a car as well? At 4 a.m? And the car took off. Really? Okay.
Extremely far-fetched. I mean, again, the probability approaches 0 because, again, at 4 a.m. on Sunday morning, on these streets in Sweeting's Village, and also a street a little bit further north, I don't know the name of it, but it's a street with an industrial building on it. At 4 a.m. in the morning, there's not going to be anybody out. And generally speaking, everybody down here is very helpful. And it's a small community, and if someone were standing in the road that appeared to be in distress,
Yeah.
you would stop. And at the very least, you'd stop and roll down the window a little bit and have some communication, and then
Yep.
use your telephone to bring them aid. So,
Right.
Yeah. You call the police, you do something.
Yeah. If the statement, well, it's hard to even refer to statements when they get so far-fetched, but to say that he made it through the bush to a street and attempted to wave someone down.
That's what he told Lynette's mom. Interesting. Okay. I just started this case. I haven't really done anything on this case at all. I've just watched like a little bit of Ashley, and I've seen the thumbnails of people's videos all over YouTube. I did a preliminary reading of it in the very beginning, and that's it. There's no other reading to be needed. I'm flat out getting it was abuse, alcohol. I'm getting he strangled her, possibly with the cross body bag that she was wearing that had their passports and like important papers in it. I'm getting flat out he used that, and then he's dumped her overboard with something heavy, like, and wrapped her up in rope and possibly chains, and I'm wanting to say an anchor, something that is like as heavy as an anchor, or if something heavier, like, I don't know, whatever he had there. And I'm getting it wasn't from the dinghy, it was from it was from their main boat. The dinghy story, I'm getting that's a load of bullshit. That's just his bullshit. That's his story. Simple. End of. That's it. I don't see her on land anywhere. I see her deep in the ocean, and she's weighted down. And they need to scuba dive. Like, if they've not dived for her, they need to start diving and looking where the boat was, where he had the boat moored. They need to look. She's under the water. And unfortunately, due to the way water is, I'm getting things will be visible fairly soon, if not already. So they will find stuff on the shoreline. That's all I'm saying. Just figure out what I'm saying. Water does not do kind things to bodies.
As we understand it, it's just extremely
Okay, so
Well, and let's remind everybody again, the community in the Abacos is very small, and it is not 1970s New York City where you might drive by someone in distress.
Right. And this story is well known that, as you said, if someone saw themselves being waved down and then didn't stop for fear, they would probably step forward now at this point.
right.
And say, it was me. I was that one. I was afraid. I didn't stop, and I wish I had.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
As the story, as we
Thank you,
understand
Vexing.
it's extremely far-fetched.
Yeah. What's frustrating, Jim, so much of this is frustrating, but what's frustrating when I speak with you is how hard you and your fellow volunteers at the Hopetown Volunteer Fire and Rescue give generously, please. I'm going to say it again, please. It's entirely volunteer. Hopetown Volunteer Fire and Rescue. How hard you all worked for days looking for Lynette based on false information, incomplete information, obfuscation, and then a guy who was sitting on the
She
porch of
just
the
said it.
Conk Inn for 2 days.
She just said it perfectly. They were searching for her on false information. And it's a volunteer organization. And they're using their money to look for her. It's ridiculous.
And not going and getting a boat to join in the search.
That's quite a contrast, isn't it? And people here, I mean, we had people call who, a Bahamian, a second homeowner who lives on Elbow Key, and they know my wife, Cindy, and they called Cindy and said, our family has property on a string of keys near Toulouse Cut, and there's a blown out building from years back and has a cistern on it. And I've just got a feeling about that cistern. Somebody should check it out. And so Cindy got in her kayak and paddled a long way. I don't know, maybe 3 miles.
Wow,
So she
really?
paddled in her kayak 3 miles down to this string of keys. And she, from,
Nothing
at
there.
this point, she's 5 feet away from the shore. She can get as close as she wants to. And she circled these 3 keys right up close, and then went to the key that had the blown away dwelling from many years ago. And she could see that the cistern was completely overgrown with access to the cistern was completely overgrown.
Ah,
And that told her she didn't need to make an attempt to go find the cistern because it was essentially
there's no
inaccessible.
way you did
But
it
I
there.
just say
Yeah.
that as a point of people are working hard to try and think about where people should be searching, and they're communicating to people who have an ability to do it. And so Cindy went and did it, and
Oh, that's nice of her.
consequently was able to
Thank you
presumably
very much,
eliminate that
Betsy.
as a potential area. And that's just one instance of many.
Thank you very much, Bexing. I appreciate you. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. One sec here. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate you, girl. I love you. I appreciate you very much.
Happy to see how thoroughly Nate had looked at the northwest side
Okay, Crimson, no problem, honey. Part of the replay crew, no problem. Thank you for being here.
of Lubbers, because I think that is number 1 or number 2 highest likely area. If a body is buried, that's one of the high likelihood areas. And to the credit of not me, but other colleagues on fire and rescue, on Sunday morning, one of our colleagues had drones flying all over the northern tip of Lubbers Quarters on the west side.
They
and
need
on the
to go
northern tip and on the
underwater.
east side and across
Period.
the
They need to
middle
go
of the
underwater.
island.
Scuba divers need to get diving.
And he was able to navigate the drones right up close to the shore. So there was a thorough look for anything that had been
Vexing,
washed
47.
up.
Woohoo! 47 months. Thank you, girlfriend. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I appreciate you, love. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Let's see what train whistle. Thank you. Okay. All right. Sounds good, Crimson. Thank you, honey. I appreciate all of you very much. The sale is on until Monday. So if you want to grab something, sign up for a Mini Lux box. You get a mystery box from me every month. And if you sign up now, you'll get it at 25% off every month. It's a damn good deal. I'm going to be making more.
And so,
Well, and of course,
I'm going to be making more tomorrow, Crimson. So check it out tomorrow, Sunday. Yeah. So check the website tomorrow and I will have it up tomorrow. Yeah, the island sandalwood is absolutely amazing.
what everyone's looking for is what they believe at the time is a woman who went overboard and maybe stranded and needing help. Or God forbid, might be a body that washed up on the shore. They're not looking for potential grave sites, which is a very different kind of look.
That's right. That's right. And that's actually, if there's a body buried, I think that
it'll be just
one
washed
of the
up
higher
on the shore.
probability places, I believe they have sent cadaver dogs there, would be the northwest shore on Elbow Key of a development called the Sanctuary. And it's right. You're familiar with it. You've seen it when you're going west out of the White Sound Channel, that little peninsula on the left. They're doing a lot of road grading, a lot of palm tree planting, and a lot of churning the ground. And I have walked that.
I will
area,
make.
driven
Oh
it, and
God,
many
Tara.
others have also. And the challenge there is that everything looks
All
like
right.
a grave because all of the dirt has been
One
all
sec.
disturbed.
I just
it's
made a
all
huge
disturbed.
mess.
Right.
Yeah.
And I don't know it firsthand, but I understand that the U.S. Coast Guard cadaver dogs did go there.
Well, I know for a fact, having seen them, because I was there at the time, they were looking at that entire area. Again, as you exit White Sound Channel, turn left, turn south. There's sort of a bunch of mangroves and like low-lying cliff-like, rock formations along the water.
Yeah.
And they were very, very interested in that spot. It's a matter of access, accessing it, which was tricky for them. And one dog, can only do so much.
Right.
Those puppy dogs get tired and overworked in the hot Bahamian
Okay,
sun.
I just
So
made a huge freaking mess.
my hope is that there will
Oh my
be additional
God.
searching, and I'm crossing my fingers for that. That's a story that's coming in the days to come. But, Brian said something to you about lubbers, didn't he?
Yeah, refresh my memory if there's something specific you're thinking of, but he said,
I think he told you that his plan was to land on lubbers and then break into some houses or something of that sort.
right. So he on Sunday morning, I was on the front of the rescue boat. He and I had a lengthy discussion about where he believes Lynette went over the side on the dinghy. And in the process of trying to identify that, he said,
Oh, so this guy knows Brian. He's been with Brian, spent time with Brian, and you can tell in his voice he knows Brian's full of shit. And if he isn't full of shit and it turns out he's innocent and there's nothing wrong, I apologize for my opinion. It's free speech. I'm allowed to have an opinion and I will keep it. And I'm allowed to have a psychic reading as well, and I'll keep it. Thanks. Okay.
He drifted to the northern tip of Lubbers. He finally threw out an anchor, and he stayed.
He threw out an anchor. There you go. I'm sure he did throw out an anchor. That's his bullshit story. He threw her out with the anchor.
He anchored there approximately an hour. He fired. He fired one flare or two flares. He fired a flare, one or more. I can't speak to the quantity, but he fired a flare from.
He told Darlene he fired 2 flares, and there's information that he only fired 1. That the actual flare may have only fired 1. I don't have that 100% confirmed, but there is information that only 1 flare went out of that gun. But he said to Darlene that he fired 2.
Right. So he fired a flare or a combination of flares, and then eventually.
Oh yeah.
He told.
I guess they can do forensics on the flare gun, eh? And see how many flares came out of it. That's interesting.
Told me, and so I had my one broken oar, and I decided I would paddle to the northern tip of Lubbers and find a house and break in and use the telephone to call for help. And when I raised the anchor to get to Lubbers, I was unable to get to make land, and then consequently got blown west to where he came up on the beach. That's what he.
Can I ask you something about that? I have not boated over the northern part of Lubbers quarters. However, others who have told me that there is a massive shoal that goes out, that it is extremely shallow all over the northern tip. So if you're at the northern tip of Lubbers, you could theoretically get out and
walk.
stand.
Yeah.
Yes, probably 50 yards out. There's a good chance that you. It's very shallow. No one in a boat would go close to the northern tip of Lubbers because it's known to be short and to be shallow. And then from that point, the northern tip of Lubbers, as you go west, there's then a massive sandbar that heads toward Marsh Harbor, and a bigger boat would not loop around to the west side of Lubbers. But if you were in a dinghy, it would be, if you're in a dinghy with a motor,
You could do that and more.
So they're
then it would
debunking
be
all of his bullshit.
easy to
Simple.
loop around.
So, and the other thing is for people who aren't boaters or liveaboards or
smells good.
cruisers or sailors or anything, all the words you want to ascribe to people who spend a lot of time on boats
making-
in areas.
I'm making the love spell magnesium cream. It's on the website right now. Love spell magnesium cream. Okay, Jules.
Where they become familiar, comfortable, enjoy, and then move on. If you're in a keelboat that draws about, I'm just going to guess that a 46-foot sloop draws about 4 to 6 feet.
That's right.
Minimum.
He actually mentioned that when we talked. He said his boat drew about 5 feet.
Okay,
There's
so I'm
no-
right on.
yeah.
And that was a real guess. You're going to know this. You are going to know where these very shallow shoals are and sandbars are because you are sailing in the Abacos. And this is a very key part of the Abacos. It's not like you just
Right.
wouldn't know that if you're drifting over it
I'm going to
at
make
night.
Island
No,
sandalwood
No,
next.
that's exactly right. If you were in a 43-foot sailboat and you're coming through an area for the first time and you're enjoying your vacation and you're cruising and you have a 5-foot keel, 5 feet is actually kind of deep in our area.
And check out my candles, ladies. Don't forget my candles. I've got
two
2 brand new candles out. They're absolutely amazing.
in here for 2 weeks because you would have already hit bottom and realized, okay, I really have to be circumspect. And that west side of Lubbers on a chart and visually, when you're looking at it from a distance, is extremely
I'm
appealing.
going to do
I
Island
mean, it would be a
sandalwood next.
magnet of, I've got to anchor back here behind Lubbers on the west side. It's just so pristine.
Visually appealing,
It-
not so much on the chart.
you would look at it in the chart and say, oh, no, I can't do that. I mean, it would be a clear no-go. And you wouldn't have to be very experienced or sophisticated to know that you can't get there by
Oh,
a boat.
you mean like a guy who is able to text you saying ebb tide, slack tide, midnight tide, someone who knows the tides.
Thank
to
you
use
for
that kind of
shopping. I can
terminology
see everybody
would
on
know
my
enough
website. Thank you
about
so much,
depth in
everybody.
a very
You're
appealing
hooked
spot
on
to
the
say,
Island sandalwood,
you know,
isn't it
we've been by
beautiful?
that
Yeah.
place a bunch of times,
I'm gonna make
crossing
more
Sea
right
of Abaco
now.
from Marsh Harbor over to Elbow Key.
Let me check the
you got to be
website.
really careful and avoid that spot.
Yeah. And there is, on the northwest tip of Lubbers, there are
Hold
2
up.
little beaches that by
Let's see,
observation
Island
on
sandalwood.
either by observation on a chart or maybe even more clearly on Google Maps on your phone, you
Okay,
can see that they're
it's
beaches.
sold out.
And if you're looking for something with softer sand versus rock,
I'm going to put
there's-
Island sandalwood up
there's
now.
an
1 sec.
attraction there if that's what you were looking for.
Well, and Nathan is looking. It again, when looking, it all depends on what you're looking for. If you're looking for Lynette's dry bag, if you're looking for Lynette's bathing suit cover up, if you're looking for her Conch Republic headscarf, or if you're looking for what looks like potentially a grave. And that's really hard in the sand. But I will say this, anyone who's out looking should be watching very, very closely. And this is a very macabre topic, but you should
Yeah.
be watching very closely for some kind of concavity, some kind of indentation in the
Yep.
sand, because as a body that might be buried decomposes, they break down and the sand or earth above them is displaced and often falls. That's why you can sometimes see where a shallow grave is, because it's not even with the rest of the earth. It droops in where the body has, displaced that earth. So if
Sure.
anyone's out looking, make sure to look for that, and maybe some brush that looks, piled very unnaturally on top of
And I
one
have some
spot. Not with the
I have some sugar scrubs left. Not very many. I've got a couple of each one, I think. So snag those sugar scrubs up. Everybody was asking for sugar scrubs. So grab them up before they go. I don't have an island sandalwood picture. Give me a sec. Talking to myself here.
wind or the surf would bring in, but somebody would actually physically have to pile something in a formation like
Right.
that.
And if somebody had some digging to do on the shore, maybe it would take an hour, and that's why the story of I anchored there for an hour in case the dinghy had been observed.
Bam! That is it right there. The key word, key statement, if that's what he said. In my opinion, in my reading, I anchored there for an hour. Well, they need to check that's where the frickin' anchor is. And so is Nancy. Or sorry, Lynette. Where is it? I don't see an island sandalwood picture. Okay, I'll put that one up for now. Okay. Yeah, so that, to me, that's the key. I anchored there. That's exactly it.
But
It's a really good point.
the problem is that, well, maybe not the problem. The challenge is the story that he's told is so obviously, cumulatively, obviously not true.
Yeah.
I go further. I say preposterous.
Right. I mean,
Preposterous.
I had math training in my past, and it's a statistical issue of, to believe his story, you have to believe this and this
Yep.
and this and this and this. And then statistics, you have to multiply them together. And when you multiply fractions together, it becomes an increase.
Okay, the island sandalwood is up on the website now. I put it back up and I'm making it right this minute. So enjoy, grab your island sandalwoods, sign up for a monthly mini Lux box, and you'll get a box of my goodies every month, which is a total surprise. Every month it's a mystery, and I send you what I feel you need. Like, that's how it is. Like, every box almost is a reading. It's like a reading of products. And all these people will tell you Tara is bang on every month with her box. Hi, Sharon. Hi, Lena. I pick, it's weird. I honestly, I read you as I'm filling your box, and I pick what I feel I'm getting for you off my shelf. So yeah, every month is a total mystery. I love doing it. It's so much fun. So if you sign up now, you have till Monday. You get 25% off, and that will block you in for that price every month. Okay, like it locks in your account. And yeah. Thank you, Vexing. I love you too, hon.
Increasingly smaller number. So the believability
Okay, I'll be right back. I need to get something to drink. So hold the fort for a sec.
of falling out in broad daylight, swimming away from the boat in broad daylight, and deciding not to throw a life jacket out when there's life jackets in the bottom of the boat getting in the way, and not throwing an anchor out until you've drifted, and all those come up to the probability approaches zero.
Oh, I'll add to you, if you're driving, which he says Lynette was, in terrible seas, and yet she's not the usual driver, you're the one who would be driving. But okay, let's give him that. If she's about to bounce out, her hand is on the throttle, and the other hand is likely stabilizing herself on the pontoon. And somehow both of those hands, as she's bouncing out, are able to grab the lanyard with the electric key on it and the dry bag, which is likely in the well of the dinghy, because it's one of those longer strapping ones and it would really kind of displace you and make your weight uneven.
See, that's exactly what I'm getting. He used whatever it is, the lanyard and the dry bag she had around her, she was wearing. If I'm correct, that's what I'm reading. He strangled her with it. In my opinion, according to my readings. Something like that.
If you had it strapped on you while you're driving. Most people don't put a cross bag on while driving a dinghy like that. They'd put it in the bottom of the boat, especially if they're driving in conditions like that. So again, I mean, every ounce of what he says is garbage.
And when you have, and all of those things have to be true for the story to be true. And that's what makes it so diminishingly likely. However, on the other side, all of the potential things that he could have done, or there's so many possibilities. The probability of any one of them is relatively small, except now, statistically speaking, we're not multiplying the probability of each one. We're adding the probability, because we're saying it could have been this, or she could be buried here, or, and when you use the word or, then you add the probabilities together,
Right?
and then you get this
Vexinger, that's
collection
awesome.
of potential stories, and collectively one of them is true. And it may be that we don't have the imagination yet to get to the right story.
Well, it's like Puff the Magic Dragon to get to the.
Congratulations on your new kitty. I love that. Congrats. Okay, I'll be back in a few minutes. I have to boil some water and mix up my magnesium. So I'll be just a sec, okay?
The story that he tells. Think all those natural products you're buying are from wholesome mom and pop companies? Not quite. Many have been bought out by mega corporations and private equity firms who hijack the brands and load them all up with corporate slop. But one company is doing things differently. The Van Man Company. They started the grass-fed tallow trend a few years back with moisturizers, and they've been crushing it ever since with their nearly edible products. Tallow works because its fatty acids are nearly identical to the oils in our own skin, so our bodies actually recognize it. It can replace your lotion, your night cream, your wrinkle cream, even Neosporin and diaper balm. And it's powerful enough to heal your skin, yet safe enough to...
She's competition me. She's being in competition here. I should send a box to Ashley and get her to be my rep, my sales rep. Hey, I should get her to do a PR. Though I probably don't. She's getting paid big bucks to do these commercials. Hopefully soon I will be doing commercials. I've been waiting for companies to come through and start doing PR with me. Okay.
And the police officers, approximately 7:25. It's a pretty close on a boat. It's a pretty quick trip, and we would have been tied up to the side of his boat in the range of 7:45.
Wow.
So he's getting up on board now around 7:45 and tinkering with the air conditioner, again, presumably to get the hide key to open up and break into his own boat to go down below with the police officer. That would have taken how long?
Oh, I remember it was maybe for him to gain access, from tinkering to gaining access, probably less than a minute, not very long.
Okay, quickly. All right, so about 7:45, give or take a few minutes.
Yeah.
He's going down below with the officer.
That's right.
And he's down there till 8:45.
Yeah, that's a pretty strong estimate on my part, but that's what I would guess at. Yes.
I've measured that up against his AIS, which went, so it's looked at by my ship tracking as a vessel event, but at 9:29 p.m. the night before it went out, and at 8:34 a.m. it went back on. And so it's entirely possible as he's coming back out with the police officer, he could have switched back on his AIS and walked out above deck, got back onto your vessel, and then gone off looking for Lynette.
Sure. He would have had access to all of his controls. And, I assume that at some point he was at the behest of the police officer, rummaging around looking for paperwork
Yeah, I'll be
and
back in a sec.
doing things. And presumably it would be easy to turn on his AIS. And this is the first time I've heard you're telling me that on Saturday night at what time the AIS?
9:29 p.m. His AIS went out of coverage. 9:29 p.m. and it remained out of coverage until 8:34 a.m. the next morning when it went back on.
Well, the 8:34 data point is extremely reasonable. I would say, yeah, we were there for that.
They're doing an amazing conversation. Yep, same stuff. Yes, Crimson. Yep, I'm going to make this batch blue. Yep, go for it, hon. Same thing. I didn't have an exact picture. Thank you very much. Thank you. My phone's going toot toot. Thank you very much for your orders, everybody. I'm making magnesium for your cream right now. Oh, yeah, good. Yeah, that's what I do too, Arctic. Every night, I load myself up after my nighttime bath.
8:34 data point. But it's a shocking bit of information that
Thank you so much.
AIS was, I don't want to use the wrong words, but was turned off or disabled.
Out of coverage.
That's
Out of coverage is the way it's logged as the event.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm wondering if you're sitting in the rest.
No need to put a code in. It automatically does it. So it will automatically discount you when you get to checkout. I don't need to use codes anymore, thank God. Codes are such a pain in the ass, to be honest. So thank you very, very much. Jenny, I got you. Melissa, I got you. Thank you very much for your orders, ladies. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You help the bills get paid. Thank you very much.
Rescue vessel for that hour with the other Hopetown Volunteer Fire and Rescue members and the other police officers. Do you recall any of your observations? Like, did you recall any kind of power event, hearing anything going on or lights coming on or anything at all sometime just before they emerged from down below?
No. Observed nothing. The engine was not cranked. Did not observe. It was broad daylight, so I probably wouldn't observe lights coming on. But there was no indication that there was a power.
So yeah, I'll make this batch blue as well. Thank you for the reminder. I forgot I'd done that blue.
When you approach the vessel, sometimes
it's just a matter of what color I put
sensor
in.
triggers that turn
Oh, you're
spotlights
welcome, Jenny. Thank
on
you
some
so
of these
much.
boats. Did any of that happen that you recall?
I'll spoil
No,
you, girl.
nothing. We approached from the stern of the boat and tied up along the starboard side of the boat.
I always
And
spoil all my
I
customers.
did
You
not
guys know
notice
that.
any lights
I
come on.
always throw in little
Well, if
extra
the boat
goodies
had been
and
powered
all
down,
kinds of shit
that
all the
might
time.
make sense that there's no power to those lights. So who knows what this event was with AIS? Out of coverage might have meant all power off. Who knows what it meant?
Right.
Maybe the AIS just turned off. We don't know. But the other thing I wanted to ask you about, Jim, when I'm sitting on a boat,
This is such a good conversation. They're covering everything. It's such a well considered conversation.
I'm usually enjoying the waves or the view. But if I'm sitting up beside a sailboat, I'm usually looking at the rigging because I'm really curious about, how people rig their boats, how many stays, all the rest. Was there anything about the rigging that stood out to you? Did you see cameras or spotlights or any kind of stuff that would have just been sort of, oh, that's interesting?
No, the only thing that I observed that approaches that is that I would say that the boat was tricked out for heavy cruising. You had a lot of solar panels on one side. And when you see the sailing boats here in the Sea of Abaco, you can see very quickly a boat that is set up for an easy sail through the Sea of Abaco, a relatively easy sail back to Florida. They don't have a lot of the more external equipment, but this boat was decked out with.
It's funny when I'm making these cream and stuff, I feel like I'm baking. Hey, I feel like I'm making baking stuff.
More preparation for a more serious journey. I feel like I can remember seeing water bottles or diesel bottles tied onto the deck of the boat. Maybe I'm mistaken there, but that would be a common feature of boats that were rigged up to be a little more heavy duty, and it was certainly rigged that way.
But no feeling like, oh, there are cameras. We better watch our P's and Q's. I can see that we're on camera, or at least these little, what some people call nest or ring cameras set up on the riggings.
Yeah, I did not notice that, but I'll also say I'm not attuned to notice that either.
I use
you're in rescue
arrowroot
mode.
powder.
You shouldn't have been.
Right.
I mean, honest to God, you're looking for Lynette. You're not looking for what a criminal might be
Right.
up to.
All these years I've been making this stuff, and after I put the arrowroot powder in, I'm like, I taste something sweet. It's the arrowroot powder. Those of you who have had arrowroot cookies, yep, it's what makes the cream non-greasy on your body. It takes the greasy feeling away.
Can be forgiven. That's absolutely for sure.
A couple of days ago, I was watching some videos, and I watched a video of an expert who says, here's how you tell when somebody is lying. They have a pretty detailed story, and they're good at explaining the details to the story.
Yep,
if you ask
exactly.
them
Bingo.
about the details, they're very insightful. But if you ask them a question adjacent to the story, then it stumps them. And when I saw this video a few days ago, it made me think of us understanding a pretty detailed story of what happened that night. But then when I was on the deck of fire and rescue, literally.
Hi, Diana. So yeah, all of my skincare products has arrowroot powder in it.
Quizzing him, did she fall out here or was it closer to here? When she fell out, did she swim to this piece of land or that piece of land? And as you know, as I've mentioned to you before, he said, I don't know. I'm just so confused. And it made me, when I heard this video, that it made me feel like he was presented with a question that he hadn't worked out his story for. And so he was only able to say, I don't know, because he didn't have that piece of the story worked out. Another thing that makes no sense is I don't recall him ever saying that she swam to the sailboat, but I do believe that he told others that she was swimming to the sailboat. I cannot attest to that. So when I was in this area pointing to the land, it's obvious that she would swim. If she wasn't going to swim back to the dinghy 10 feet away, then the land is so close. Well, why would he think she fell out of the boat? His story is she fell out of the boat. He heard her yell something, and he didn't know what she said. Well, why would he think she was swimming to the sailboat since they didn't have a conversation about it? He would think that she was swimming to the closest point, which was the land. Just another example.
His story is so full of shit.
She was swimming to the sailboat, but he had no reason to think she was swimming to the sailboat. They didn't talk about it, and the land was close.
Well, let me tell you the discrepancies in what he's told multiple people, including yourself. One version is I called out to her and I heard her call back, but I couldn't make out what she was saying. And the other version is I called out to her, but I never.
Diana. Thanks for watching, hon. I appreciate it. I know arrowroot cookies and a big cup of tea. Oh my God. Yum. I should send Savvy to the store. It should automatically be there, Crimson. Let me look. Did you put your order through? Let me look. It should be there. Let me look. Oh, you're a sweetheart. Oh, what the hell? Oh, it didn't discount. Why didn't it discount? Shit. Okay, yours didn't discount. Give me a sec here. I will work out the difference and send you the difference back to you. Why are you doing this, computer? Maybe these products aren't in the sale. Give me 2 seconds. Sorry about that. I didn't realize. Okay, Mother's Day sale. Products. Ah, that's why. Okay. One sec. Okay, it didn't add it in. I thought it would automatically put my new products in. It didn't. Okay, one sec. Okay, when I'm finished here, Crimson, I will calculate what the difference is and I will refund that back to you. Okay, hon? Whatever that was, I will refund it back to you when I'm finished here, okay? All the new products are under the sale now. I thought it automatically did it, but I guess not. Eucalyptus, lavender are my allergies. You can write them down. Yep. I already knew Krista couldn't have lavender. So eucalyptus as well, eh? Okay. All right. Thank you very much for your orders. I appreciate you very much.
Never heard from her.
No.
And another version is, I didn't know where she was swimming, but yet another version is she was swimming towards the sailboat. And yet here we are, Jim, you and I, sensible people. And even if you're not a sensible voter, they were 150 yards offshore in a very shallow area. It might have been 5 feet. Swimming a little closer to shore, it might have been 3 feet. And they knew that because they had been in this area back and forth multiple times.
Right. And so, the story is so implausible. To me, it shifts over to, okay, how do we figure out how to think about what could have happened, what really happened?
All right, babe.
And
See you in a bit.
I don't know. I understand.
Hi, Juju.
I'm sure you're aware of it. I understand.
You go wackos.
Secondhand that someone observed a flare coming from the sailboat.
June's going
but not
walkies.
me.
Did my
I
order go
understand
through? It didn't take care. I don't know. Let me see. Krista. I don't see anything for you, Krista. Abandoned checkouts. No, nothing. I don't see anything for you, bud. Krista, no, nothing. Sorry, babe. I don't see anything for you on here, Krista. Is it a Minilux? Did you sign up for Minilux again? Crystal. One sec. I'm just looking at. Yeah, I've got nothing for you, Crystal. I'm not sure what you're referring to, honey. I don't see anything on my website. Yeah, June's going for a walk. Walk number 2. She gets 2 walks a day.
Heard a distinctly loud splash from the area of the sailboat. And I know that that person is in contact with authorities. And that, in a sense, that's old news.
Well, it isn't actually. I do want to pull on that thread a little bit. There are people who have spoken to authorities who didn't want to speak publicly. Understand, not everybody wants to be speaking to podcasts or speaking to the media at all. But this is
Okay,
information
this is
that
good.
you know
Oh my
that
God, it
there
smells
is a
good.
witness who saw a flare and heard a commotion and a splash.
They heard the
It's
commotion
actually
and a
2 different
splash.
people in the
Wow.
same area, but yes. One
Can
person-
you expound on that a little bit more?
One person saw a flare coming from the boat, from the area of the sailboat. A different person in the same group heard the splash.
That's
And they
crazy.
were close enough to be able to hear that.
Yes,
Were they on land or on a boat?
yes, land.
On land. Was it dark when that happened?
Okay,
I saw a photograph.
I'm going to do a reading of that situation right now. My reading's flat out telling me that flare that went off, it's because they were struggling. I'm getting flat out she was struggling with him and possibly managed to get a round off before he pushed her over. Like flat out. That's what I'm getting. I'm not getting it went off because they were stranded or something. I'm getting it went off because they were fighting. Her way of reaching for help. Yep.
From approximately, yeah, it was dark when that happened. I was mixing stories. It was dark when that happened.
So I have a report that approximately 8 p.m. was when a group saw the flare and more than one person saw the flare. Is this a different, do you
No,
recall
I think
differently?
that's the same group that we're referring to.
That's
And
crazy.
did more than one person see the flare, or just one person saw a flare and another person heard the splash?
As it was told to me, one person saw the flare. I never spoke to that person. So that is secondhand
Nice.
information to me.
No, they haven't found her yet. No, nothing yet. And what we're watching, this was just a fantastic conversation. Putting your bed. Okay. Okay, Krista. Thank you, babes. All right, hon.
I did speak to another person in that group, and that person told me they heard the splash.
Wow.
Did
Can
screaming
you imagine
or fighting?
hearing that?
No, that was the only sound that they heard. It was just, and it was extremely loud and distinctive. A big splash into the water.
And that's why they remembered it, because it would be odd at 8 o'clock at night for anyone to be jumping in the water. Did it sound like it was a person going in the water or something like large equipment going in the water?
She didn't made
Something
no reference
heavy.
to characterizing the sound of the splash other than being a very, very loud splash.
Okay, well, why have they not scuba dived? Please tell me they have dived. Scuba teams have dived to look for her. Please tell me they have.
Was there any other recollection of that time, that moment right around 8 o'clock at night?
No. My understanding was that the splash was a little bit later.
This event,
Wow.
what the witnesses saw is in the darkness.
Yeah,
Correct, Jim? There's nothing happening in the light.
right.
But
In my
you saw a picture. Sorry, you saw a picture at 7:47 p.m. and I've seen the same one, and it is dead calm. I mean, it is lovely.
Yeah.
The weather is beautiful.
What a
and there's
beautiful
not
place
ripple.
there.
that is correct. We must have seen the same photo.
Yeah. And it would be shortly after that, little more than say 10 minutes later, that the witness saw the flare?
I can't. The flare was the secondhand story, and so I mean, to me, it was secondhand, and so I really don't.
As a reading, I'm reading the situation. Fully, I see them fighting and scuffling and fighting and wrestling with each other, fighting for the flare gun, and it managed to go off, and that was it. He pushed her over the side. Well, I don't think he pushed her over the side immediately. I think it went off, and then he did something. I'm getting strangled, and then he's wrapped her up in rope really quick, and I'm getting like an anchor, or like, did he have an extra anchor sitting there? Something really heavy. They better have freaking dived. Please tell me they've dived and looked at the place. If they've not dived in that area, they failed this lady. Like, oh my God. They should have done that day one. She's under the water. She's weighed down. That's why they can't find her.
I have a sharp timing on that.
And even though it's secondhand, did they say the flare went straight up into the sky or laterally along the water, which would make it hard for other people to see it?
It was said to have gone horizontally across the water, or sideways.
Horizontally. Well, that makes a lot of sense because we've not been able to figure out how a flare could have been seen by a witness that wasn't seen by all the other houses that look out onto the Sea of Abaco, all of the other boats at anchorage. I mean,
the mom and
are
dad,
a big thing.
The mom and dad are now in counseling. Wow, wild. I feel sorry for her daughter. Oh, she has a daughter. Oh my gosh.
They signaled distress.
Right.
And so if it went laterally, that would be easy to miss.
Yeah. In my understanding, my perception at the time,
I'm not
and
done
I don't
here.
remember,
Shit.
I can't remember the qualitative parts of the discussion or conversation, but my sense at the time was that the flare was seen something like 9 to 9:30, but I can't back that up from conversation. That was my sense
so she
of
has
the
a daughter. Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that.
That's in direct competition with another
Didn't her
story that says
daughter?
the flare was seen
Her
around
daughter
8
said they
p.m.
always
Yeah.
fought. Oh God! See,
And
that's what
as
I'm
I
getting.
say,
There was a abuse.
talking about
Alcohol
something that was told
problems.
to me secondhand that I personally didn't ask a lot of follow-up questions about. So it may be
Oh,
that,
that's too bad.
well, so I just don't know.
God.
But the splash was definitely around 8.
Ladies and men, it doesn't matter if you're male or female, whoever you are, if you are in an abusive relationship, I'm telling you now, get yourself some help. Point blank. Learn from these cases we've been watching. If you are in an abusive relationship, get yourself some help. Open up and tell somebody you can trust. Do not live in an unhappy life that is being made unhappy by someone else's actions.
No, the splash was definitely later, maybe even past 9:30, because the person I was talking to said that the surroundings had become quiet so that one would have been able to hear a splash. Prior to that, there was more general commotion, just general island life commotion.
Point blank, do not live with abuse. If
So
you're
the
being
splash was
abused,
after 9:30
get your
when
ass
things
out
had
of there.
become more quiet and the splash would be easier to hear.
Yes.
Wow, that is a lot of information to process.
Get yourself some help.
Super alarming, but also fitting into a puzzle that, that we've been working out. And that puzzle increasingly does not fit Brian Hooker's story.
Right. Yeah. And this goes to me, this goes.
That goes with any type of abuse, emotional, physical, gaslighting. Understand? I'm very strict on that. Like, holy shit. I've been in 2 relationships with abusive men, and I'll never ever fucking do it again. It took me years to figure it out and get my ass away from both of them. Never again.
So many data points there. The story is so implausible. Now it's trying to triangulate on what really did happen. And so if a flare was shot in sometime after 8 o'clock, and if there was a distinctly loud splash sometime later than 9 o'clock, maybe 9:30, then those are extremely compelling data points in what might have actually taken place.
Yeah. Was there anything else that those witnesses said adjacent to these reports of the flare and the splash? And no fighting, no loud noises, nothing else that sort of just was an interesting data point?
No, that's really 100% of what was said. I've heard unrelated
There you
to
go.
these conversations.
No
that I have
problem.
had.
You got
I've
it 20
heard-
years ago. Good.
Really, I would almost
Mental,
classify
yep.
it as idle.
Mental, I believe, in my opinion, from experience, is worse than physical. Mental abuse is absolutely terrible. If you're suffering from somebody that's like gaslighting you and belittling you and making you feel like a piece of shit, you need to get away from them. Get yourself some help.
Conversation or idle chat that, someone said they saw people on the boat, but it was so idle chat and so far removed from a source. It could be true, but I don't think that I was at all close to have.
We'll go into a conversation about it one day. Let's put it that way. From my ages 20 to 27, I was with a very, very, very abusive man. And it took me years to get the nerve to get away from him. It's a long story. That's where my spirit guide, Doug, he's my number 2 guide. You guys, I've talked about him many times. He helped me get away from that abusive man.
Observe that. And more specifically, the people that I'm talking about right now made no comments remotely related to that. It was only a flare from the sailboat and a very loud splash.
Because it was also dark. It would be hard to see anybody on the boat at that point.
It would have been dark.
However, listen, game over. If anybody made it back to the soulmate boat and got up on board, game over.
Totally.
We already know Brian's story isn't true. It's just a matter of proving it
Right.
with empirical and hard facts
Right.
and evidence. But I'll tell you that this boat next
Come on.
door, Azura, this has been such a mystery. Has anyone on the island talked about Azura? Has anybody been able to find Azura to their knowledge?
I've seen it posted on a local Facebook page here to try and pass the word, but I've not heard any conversation about it.
Yeah, we can't find Azura anywhere. We found a lot of Azuras.
Yes, they
We
will.
even knocked on the hull of a few Azuras that had already
Don't say
traveled
that,
down
Donna.
to the Virgin Islands, and they were quite surprised.
Oh, that's what he's
to
just
hear
oh, that's
people
what he
looking
used to
for
say.
them, but
Yeah,
they weren't the
right.
right Azura.
Right.
I used to get the typical, well, you're not going to be able to make it without me. I'd be like, haha, watch me. Yeah.
Azura means light blue in Italian, I believe, and so anybody who's got the faintest light blue hull likes the name Azura for their boat. And so it's made it very hard for the Coast Guard and for people like us to find those neighbors to see if they heard or saw anything.
Right. As I recall, there were not a lot of boats in that anchorage from where Soulmate was south toward Tahiti Beach. Sometimes that area really gets filled up with a lot of boats. And as I recall, there were not it was, as far as the season goes, it was kind of light for the season on that day.
Do you recall as you were pulling up that next morning on Easter morning, if there was a neighbor close by?
My memory is that there was no boat I'm pretty confident there was no boat to the north of Soulmate, and the next boat to the south, I would not describe as particularly close.
That's interesting because Azura was north. From the photographs that we've seen, right off of Burl Ives' old home, which is right there on the shore.
Right.
Azura was parked right in front of there, and you're saying you
Come
don't
on,
recall
Cream.
any keelboat like
This
Azura
cream is going
parked
so
right there
slow.
in front of Burl Ives' home.
Yeah,
Takes
that's right.
forever.
And I thought about
Sorry, this cream is taking forever to get into the containers. Dealt with all kinds of serious. Oh yeah, I'm sorry, Krista. But you know, we always got to try and think positive from all of it. That it's a learning lesson, right? We all learned something from it, and for some reason, it was part of our path, and it's what we had to go through. For some reason, it was part of our learning lesson in life. Makes you the strong people you are now, right? That's what it is. It makes you the strong, confident women you are now.
how that could how the puzzle pieces could go together, and sailors wake up early, these kind of sailboat cruisers, and there could have been a sailboat north of Soulmate, and they could have just, per their own sail plan, they could have just left early and were gone by the time we got there at 7:45.
Come on, Cream.
Or they could have left the evening before for a different anchorage.
Yeah.
Just hard to know, when that neighbor was there. Jim, you have just been such a wealth of information, and you've been so helpful right since day one. I've said it before, and I'll say it again. You're a saint. Thank you for everything that you've done for Lynette Hooker. We are a community now, bonded forever. You, me, and everybody else watching.
Yeah.
We all want justice for this mom.
Darlene and Carly. Darlene called me about a week ago, and you can just imagine she's trying to get some sort of certainly all the obvious things of clarity and resolution, but she's so far away from clarity and resolution. She's just trying to get literally some texture to grab onto, because she's drifting. I can only imagine she's in a house up in.
Is that her daughter
somewhere,
they're talking
and
about?
She has all of the long daylight hours, with very little information, new information. So she constantly only has old information. So she and I had a very positive conversation, and
that's terrible.
yeah, it just really makes you feel for the real people of the story of Darlene and Carly, and it's probably not appropriate for me to
good,
repeat
Chris.
it,
Good.
but Darlene, so use
Good.
your judgment,
Good.
Ashley, but Darlene
You're
said,
all alone. Good.
the last time
Exactly, Donna. Exactly.
last-
Everything happens
last
for a
time
reason, babe.
Lynette was with Darlene. Darlene said to me, I told her not to go back. He was going to kill her.
Oh my
And,
God.
That's the place where Darlene is. And she had done everything she knew how to do to get Lynette to change course. And for a million complex reasons.
What a sad story. Wow. So the daughter knew, and she was trying to prevent it from happening. And oh my God. So sad.
Because that didn't happen. And now Darlene is trying to get something to grab onto, knowing that she had done virtually everything she could.
She did. She did do everything she possibly could. She even spoke with, battered women's shelters for advice about how to get her daughter to reconsider returning back to Brian, which she had done many times, and had a ticket
Wow.
March 11th to leave him again.
Yeah.
And I just so wish she had used that ticket,
And
and she would have been there for Mother's
yeah,
Day.
and anybody who's engaged with these kinds of dynamics knows that is so
Wow,
difficult for someone, a woman
It
in
is.
those circumstances, to be able to pull away. And there's so many layers of
No one knows.
mental.
No one knows the shoes.
Ashley Bamfield, thank you so much for doing such an amazing interview. This was so good to watch. Me and my audience enjoyed this very much. Very educational. Yeah, excellent content. All of my people watching, if you're not subscribed to Ashley Bamfield, please subscribe. Give her a like and tell her I sent you.
They wear.
Right. The mental handcuffs,
knows.
the mental chains are so overwhelming. And obviously it was just so tragic in this regard, but to the extent that it makes a difference, as I've said, there are so many people who are feel
I smell good.
compassion toward Lynette and toward Darlene and Carly, that to the extent that people are able to help, they want to help and feel a connection.
Absolutely. Well, thank you for everything you've done, and I know that we're going to speak again.
Okay.
Thank you, Jim.
Take care. Thank you.
So there you have it. My extraordinary thanks to Jim Todd. So much clarity, so much new information that just proves Brian Hooker is lying. So what else are you lying about, Brian?
That's
Where's
amazing.
Lynette? Tick fucking talk, buddy.
I love you, girlfriend.
Know anything.
I love her. Oh my God. Ashley, we need to pair up there, girl. She is so much like me. It's amazing. Love her. Okay, so let's see what else is going on. Let me find something else here. Oh, there's drama all over YouTube. Let me see. Ah, 2 days ago, remains recovered in search for Noel Rodriguez. Oh, that's sad. Okay, let me type in Hooker case. Lynette Hooker's daughter. Okay, Ashley Bamfield. Massive splash. Okay, we just watched that. Let's see, what else does Ashley have on here? The boat is the crime scene now. Evidence seized from the boat. U.S. Coast Guard. Soulmate Halls. We got inside the... Wow, she's been doing a lot of stuff. See, I haven't been watching any of this. This is all new to me. Husband seen walking alone to dinghy. Bang. There you go. That matches my reading. Thank you. Brian Hooker's real story. Okay, let's see what else. Mystery deepens. Okay. Brian Hooker's real story. Okay, let's watch this and see. Let's see. Okay, so again, video credit goes to Ashley Bamfield. I love her so much. Okay, everybody ready? So I'm not sure what this is. I hope this is the one of his interviews. Inside husband's story. what he told the man who helped him after Lynette vanished.
Banfield, and this is Drop Dead Serious. This is Hopetown Inn and Marina. I'm coming to you from in the Bahamas, specifically Elbow Key.
Okay, I'm going to take 2 seconds too. Everybody that's watching, there's a lot of people I see a lot of you in the back forest right now watching. Hi, everyone. Thank you for being here. Can all of you please take 2 seconds and hit the subscribe button if you're not, and hit the thumbs up button for me, please. It really means a lot. And join my memberships. Become a member, join my memberships. It helps support me, keeps the channel running. I appreciate you very much.
This is the last place Lynette Hooker was seen before allegedly going off the back of the dinghy that she shared with her husband, Brian Hooker, and vanishing. And the story has been such a mystery. And boy, have I been able to talk to some people who are putting some pieces together. Specifically, the folks who were involved in the search and rescue, the folks who actually spent time with Brian Hooker, the folks who saw and retrieved the dinghy off the shore, the folks who had Brian Hooker in their boat, 2 different guys, the people who spoke with him at length, went over to Soulmate, actually retrieved the dinghy and got it back up on Soulmate. I should let you know that the music that you're hearing is a wedding. I think it's like a wedding party. Take a look over here. This is, again, Hopetown Inn and Marina. And it's really nice over there.
Wow, what a beautiful place.
Event. So you'll hear the music and probably some lively merriment. Just FYI, that lighthouse right there, that lighthouse is Candy Stripe Lighthouse. It's one of the only ones around that is actually kerosene and hand cranked. Super interesting. It's a very interesting point, like tourist point of interest in Elbow Key and particularly Hopetown and the marina that I'm at. So let me get you started. I spoke with Pete Calling, and Pete is with the Hopetown Fire and Rescue. He's a team leader. He responded on Sunday morning, April 5th. That, of course, is the morning that Brian Hooker had washed up on the shores of Marsh Harbor, 4 miles away from where I am, 4 miles away from Elbow Key. And Pete Calling sprang into action as a volunteer fire and rescue personnel, right? And he not only was out and about looking.
Thank
like
you for being here, everybody.
For Lynette Hooker.
Thank you for being here, everybody. I'm working. I'm making products, listening and making products. I am making my Island Sandalwood Magnesium Body Cream at the moment, made with pure, natural, chemical-free shea butter. My hands are so soft. Did she leave him? Apparently she did. That's what I'm hearing, Donna. She left him, I think it was twice before. I think.
He was also with Brian Hooker. You're going to hear his entire story, and it is fascinating because he knows a lot about this area. He lives here with his wife more than 10 years, I believe, and he works for the fire and rescue. I want to tell you about some things that happened in the last 12 to 24 hours. This is a small community. It's a 7-mile long island, and so
again, video credit goes to Ashley Bamfield. You can see it on the screen here. Drop Dead Serious. Please subscribe to her and give her a like. Tell her I sent you.
Oh, there's only a couple hundred residents here, but rumors spread like wildfire here. And last night, and I'm recording this on April 16th, Thursday. Last night around 10:30 at night, I'm busy with Lindsay. We're putting the podcast together to get it out to you from yesterday. We got word that a body had been found.
What?
And specifics like locations, shallow grave, police activity. So we hopped to it, which is not easy because we're on water. We had to get a ferry from this little spot right here to take us back there and to connect to the Hopetown mainland, so to speak, because I'm on the marina. And we hightailed it back to the Abaco Inn, where we heard originally the police activity was happening. Nothing was happening there, nothing at all. And then we moved a little further to the Sea Spray Inn and Marina, where we heard this is where it's actually happened. This is where the shallow grave is. Nothing happening there. Absolutely nothing.
Wow,
Not only was there no
really?
police activity, there was no activity at all. And the people who work at the Sea Spray said it's been quiet. And there might have only been like one patron left, and they were really wrapping up the night. There was absolutely no truth to this rumor. And all around the island today, people have said, did you hear? Did you hear? Did you hear? It ain't true. So rumor dispelled, and they do go like wildfire. And I mean, 10:30, 11:30 at night ain't fun to have to get out on the water, cross over, drive 10 minutes and start investigating whether.
I wouldn't be surprised if those rumors are started by those fake videos that people are putting up on YouTube here, and they're all AI generated. Honestly, that wouldn't surprise me. People are believing the fake shit.
that this was true, but we did it and we figured it out. Crickets. It ain't true. The other piece of interest is that Carly Aylesworth, that's Lynette Hooker's daughter, she arrived here yesterday in Nassau, which is a solid flight away, like a 30-minute flight. And then today, she and her boyfriend Steve arrived here in Marsh Harbor. Marsh Harbor is about 4 miles from here. Again, I'm on Elbow Key. Marsh Harbor's 4 miles away. Brian said that Lynette went overboard and took the key with her, and he had to float without any operations 4 miles all the way over to Marsh Harbor. So anyway, they've landed in Marsh Harbor, and they think that they're going to, that's the ferry, by the way. They think they're going to make it over here to Elbow Key.
Right? Am I right?
So we'll keep an eye out for them.
Thank you.
Meantime, today there was police activity, as we've seen just about every day, right? So I can tell you that.
I know myself, I get people emailing me, and they are actually believing these fake channels. They're actually believing it. I've had several people email me saying that Sebastian Rogers and Summer Wells have been found. I'm like, no, they haven't. That's bullshit. Don't believe that stuff on the AI videos. They're all fake.
The Americans that we've spotted, the ones with the search dog, with the cadaver dog, we saw a photograph of them getting on a ferry, and the witness who took the photograph saw the dog, cute little dog with the sheriff collar that we saw yesterday, Maggie. We saw them, this was an 8 a.m. ferry from Hopetown to Marsh Harbor. I thought that was odd because the Royal Bahamian Police Force should be coming over and getting them because they've got the boats here. But they took a public ferry to get over to Marsh Harbor with the dog. Also, in a separate incident, 3 representatives of the same group that we saw yesterday, the U.S. Coast Guard investigators, 3 of them were seen searching Marsh Harbor in the area where Brian's dinghy washed up. So that's about 150 yards south of the boatyard. And you're going to see a lot more information that pertains to those locations throughout this podcast. But so there's lots of activity still. Searching at Marsh Harbor, activity on Marsh Harbor. Also, the Americans heading early this morning at 8 a.m. to Marsh Harbor, and then the searches that they saw going on, 3 of them on Marsh Harbor 2 hours later. So it's still busy. It's still busy and it's still active. And there are a lot of people who have shared information, some of it accurate, some of it not accurate. Some will say, I heard it on TikTok. So we're always careful about that. But they're clearly getting a good handle on the last movements.
Stream is
of
not
Brian
flowing.
and
I'm going to be here.
Anyway, I want you to hear my conversation with Pete Culling. When we spoke with Pete,
exactly. Has anyone
we went to the
No, I haven't.
Firefly Resort.
I don't really watch
and
them anymore.
You'll recognize that if you saw
I don't have
our
time.
previous podcast here from Elbow Key as one of the places that Brian and Lynette Hooker spent some time on the last day that anyone saw her. They were at the Firefly from 11 a.m. until possibly around 4 because they picked up anchor from just off the shore of the Firefly, and they took the Soulmate yacht that they live on up about, not even a quarter mile towards the Abaco Inn and Resort, where she was last seen by anyone else other than Brian. Anyway, I want you to hear my conversation with Pete Culling. He is the team leader with the Hopetown Volunteer Fire and Rescue. He was there that morning, about 7 o'clock in the morning, when they were searching for Lynette, and they were dealing with the story of Brian, who just washed up on shore a couple hours earlier, right? and they're
Wow.
learning what he has to say, matching it up with the environment, with the winds, with the waves. So Pete's got a lot of great information.
So he had
he's a firsthand.
It sounds like Brian had a full story already concocted, you know? Full story. If he goes into, like, seriously, if he goes into deep detail on how the winds and the waves were and everything, bullshit. Bullshit. That's my opinion. I'll say it again. That's my opinion. I'm allowed to have an opinion.
Witness of everything that happened that morning, but he also spent time with Brian, and that to me was very interesting. I wanted to ask him a lot of questions about what Brian said, what his demeanor was, and what kind of activity
Premeditated?
he had.
Very
he
well
would
could
spend
be.
time one-on-one with
Love
Brian
to be a
Hooker.
fly.
Here's my
I would have loved to be a fly on the wall when he was told they took the boat into custody. Yes. Can you imagine? Yeah, I'm here. I heard about it, Holly. I have been biting my freaking tongue about the whole Arizona YouTuber bullshit. Okay? These people that are following these people around on YouTube, I'm telling you, it's a fucking farce. It's the clown show. They're only there to make money. Please pay attention, people. They're milking Nancy's case for every single fucking super chat they can get. That's all it is.
conversation with Pete Colling. This episode is brought to you by Wild Grain. If you love really good fresh bread, but you don't have time to hunt down a bakery, this is honestly one of the easiest food subscriptions I've tried. Wild Grain sends baked from frozen sourdough breads, pastries, and even fresh pasta straight to your door. Everything is made with simple ingredients that you can actually pronounce. So it tastes incredible and it's easier on your tummy. Best part is you just pop it in the oven, no thawing, no prep, and in about 25 minutes,
Yeah,
the
probably,
kitchen
Donna.
smells like a bakery.
Hopefully we
And
get to
don't just
watch
take
him
my word for it.
on
They
screen.
have over
That'd be great.
40,000 five-star reviews and have been voted the best
He's
food
on the
subscription
run
box by
because
USA Today
there's
for 3 years
apparently
in a
there's
row.
an
For a limited time,
indictment
Wild
out for
Grain
him.
is offering my listeners $30 off your first box plus free croissants
yeah,
for life when you go to
live.
wildgrain.com/Banfield to start your subscription today. That's $30
don't-
off your first box and free
I'm
croissants
telling
for
you,
life
everyone, they're
at
fucking-
wildgrain.com/Banfield, or just use the promo code Banfield at checkout. So let's start.
The big, huge, misogynistic
take me back to
pig.
that morning.
You got the
and
drunken,
how the morning
the
was for you. What
drunken,
happened?
druggy idiot.
We
You got
received
the
initial call.
expert con man over
came
the
into
internet.
Hooktown
Just
Volunteer Fire and Rescue
yeah,
at 5:12
they're
a.m.
a whole fucking joke.
I personally didn't get out there until later on in the morning, but 5 of our members.
I'm not
got
talking
on
about
a
Jim.
fire and rescue boat.
Jim and
almost
Righteous
immediately,
Monkey and
went and
AJ,
liaised with
they're
the
doing
local
fantastic
police,
work. Same with Sleuth.
where
I might be missing
dinghy was
somebody
over in
else, but those other ones,
and
it's just
I
a
caught up
fucking
with them
joke.
a couple hours later. With
Absolute
another member
joke.
of the department on his private boat, and we canvassed the area south of where the dinghy was found in an effort to try and, just see what we could see out there. We didn't find anything the first day we were out there. We understood the basic facts of what he told the police when he first made contact with them, which was where she'd gone overboard, what time that was roughly, when he made it to land, and that he had lost an oar in the process.
He said he lost an oar?
That's what he told the police.
Yeah.
Said that he had at some point anchored his dinghy, fired a flare.
Single flare or fired multiple flares? Was he clear about it?
Wasn't clear about that.
Okay. But said he fired something.
That was what we understood again. And this was the information.
You know this area, boating, mariners. If someone fires a flare at 8 o'clock at night, it's dark here. Would everybody see it and know, oh my God, there's a flare?
You would think, it's not impossible that it would go unnoticed. We have to obviously be most concerned with the facts, and it's not probable, but it is possible that he fired a flare and there was just nobody there to see it. But I would say it's pretty unlikely.
Saturday night.
Yeah,
it's
highly
busy, right?
unlikely.
The anchorages are busy.
And if we did, if somebody sees a flare, word gets around and fire and rescue is notified, and we were not notified that night of any flares being set off.
I think about, I've spent a lot of time on boats, and sunset is one of the nicest and busiest
Grew
times
up
to be
on
out
boats.
on
I
the
can
back of your
totally
boat,
relate to what this guy's
not
saying.
inside the cabin, not noticing if there's something in the sky. Would that be accurate to say a lot of people on a Saturday night would be out on their
I'm
boats
getting
on
it
the
all over me.
anchorage, and
For sure, there would have been a good few people around
that could have seen a flare.
Yeah.
I grew up on the ocean. I've shown you guys where I grew up. And I can tell you now, if there was a flare in the sky, there would be boat after boat after boat going out towards the flare. People would be going out there to get them, to try and help. You can't miss a flare in the sky, especially on like a Saturday night. Unless it didn't go up, like, good point, Donna. Maybe, did it go in the water? I don't know. Maybe it didn't go up high enough. If it didn't go high enough and it went horizontal instead, maybe. But yeah, I've seen flares go off with emergencies, and it's actually a scary thing to experience. It's very daunting. Yeah.
Yeah. But no one reported a flare anywhere.
Not to our knowledge, no.
Tell me what your experience was when you first encountered Brian.
Another member of the department and I, so this is Monday morning. Sunday was the initial day of searching. And Monday morning after that, we had spoken with the local police and told them that we were going to go and retrieve the dinghy. So another member of the department and I went over in his personal boat, and
it went horizontal. Well, that could be
to
if the flare went horizontal, then yeah, that could be what the problem was, and maybe it was not seen. There you go then. Then if it's going horizontal, that indicates to me that there was a struggle. Period. Like, there was a struggle. Was she trying to get the gun, or was she firing the gun and he tried to get it away from her? Flat out. Was she trying to shoot the flare for emergency? Because they were fighting? That's flat out.
This small places. And we went over there, located the dinghy, and I pulled up, kind of jumped off in waist deep water and went over to the dinghy.
You're the first person to encounter the dinghy that was beached up on Marsh Harbor.
First person from the department, I believe. And nothing was moved around there. We had things that I noticed was, there was one oar in there.
Was it broken? Because he told his friends he had a broken oar.
No, there was only one. But there was only one oar in the boat. There was a spent flare. I only noticed one
flare gun. And you could tell it had been fired.
Correct. There were 2 PFDs, 2 orange life jackets that were there.
On the bottom of the floor of the dinghy?
Just on the floor of the dinghy.
Wrestling for the gun. Yeah.
Did they look old or waterlogged, or that they wouldn't be useful? They were only there for legal purposes. Like, is there any chance they were useless?
Probably not. They just looked like every other orange life jacket I've ever seen in anyone's boat around here. Mm-hmm. But it the anchor was tied around a tree on the beach, which we untied, put everything on the boat, and
it was kind of a rough landing, right? As I understand it, where he beached up, it was a rocky. And...
Yeah, it's rocky. It's not easy to traverse the terrain around there for sure. There's no, immediate roads, paths, stuff like that. It was pretty rugged.
So for him to get from the landing spot where he says he washed up on shore to the boatyard.
Mhm.
How tough is that? Because he said
Ah.
he'd gone through some ramble and it was difficult.
It wouldn't be an easy.
I can imagine, Donna. Hopefully there wasn't too much damage. I know you had quite a bit of damage in your yard, didn't you?
It wouldn't be an easy walk for sure. It would take you a little while. It's not just like a walking path and a 5-minute walk to somebody. It would have been a trek.
And
not easy, especially in the middle of the night.
Would it have taken, say, 10 minutes or an hour?
You got to put yourself in someone's position there and assume that you don't know exactly where you're going. So it could have feasibly taken him an hour to get from where he landed to actually make contact with somebody.
Okay.
4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, nobody's around.
And it's dark.
Yeah.
Sun comes up around 6.
It could have happened. Yeah.
Okay. We're trying to account for like the 9 hours. He said she went overboard at 7:30 and he didn't wash up on Marsh Harbor till 4 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
Captain, of course, we're at a restaurant, so it's a little bit noisy. You can hear some of the people dining above us. But the captain I was talking to said he swam that distance in 2 hours in a race once. It's a long distance. It's 4 miles.
It's entirely possible. Again,
but you think it would take 9 hours to float? Let's cut 1 hour off for the getting through the bramble and all the rest. So 7.5, 8 hours to float all that way in a wind.
Really?
The fact of the matter is with a chain of poor decisions, it could have taken somebody that long. Not likely, but not impossible. If just drifting with the wind, that I'm estimating would have taken 3 or 4 hours.
3 or 4 hours.
So what happened to the engine of the dinghy? What happened to the engine?
For a while, stopped, fired some flares, was trying to get you a passing boat. That's again his in my mind. Again, this is not any police or official capacity, but given the timeline that he gave, not probable, not something that we would typically see, but it's not impossible.
Like if he impossible.
If he did what he said he did and anchored for a while and was trying to flag boats and do all of that, and then finally gave up and decided just to drift and make his way to where he made his way to, and then eventually trek to find somebody, it could have taken that long.
So did he what was his demeanor when you encountered him?
Well, we went to
quite the story.
We went to pick up the dinghy that Monday morning.
Oh yeah, the key. He said
pulled up
the
alongside
key.
his boat.
Right. Okay.
He was just gratitude was the first thing. He was very happy that we had,
So it was a little Zodiac then.
We went and brought him
not a dinghy.
So
an actual Zodiac.
Get around. He said he was looking forward to, he wanted to pull the anchor so that he could get his boat back to Marsh Harbor. He said he had some friends and family that
she
were
managed to
arriving
grab the
and
key in the dry
search.
bag, yeah.
So we were
and
happy
fire the flare. I
help
bet.
him out. Helped him get his dinghy on board. And,
what a fucking asshole! Sorry.
Yeah, he was just very grateful.
Bad Tara.
Seemed stoic and not overly
Sorry.
emotional.
Bad Tara.
Did he seem? I mean, listen, it's hard.
What an ass! Oh my god! I hope he goes to prison for the rest of his life. In my opinion, I'm entitled to my opinion. Thank you all for being here. Please hit the thumbs up button for me if you haven't yet. Please consider joining my channel. I have amazing memberships. I do group readings. I've got a group readings membership tier, which is second tier up. We have fun on my channel, and all memberships help support the channel. I appreciate you all so much for being here.
Like the kind of guy who just lost his wife at sea a few hours earlier?
I honestly hate to everyone is different. He's
hey, the swear jar, right?
Tattoos, was an ex-Marine.
He had USMC tattooed on his on his shoulder.
So that was one of the things that kind of
okay, so that's the dinghy right there. Yeah, no, I don't see this being any part of what happened. In my reading, I don't see this literally being any part of it. If I'm right, I'm reading that he's using this whole dinghy story as like an alibi type thing. It's his story he's created. I don't see it. I see that she actually got to get back to the big boat and that he had a huge freaking fight on the boat. The big boat.
Led me to believe he was just a little bit more, all business, stoic. I've been around a lot of sailors living here for 10 years and he was just very matter of factual. We need to do this, and then we need to do this, and I need to get out of here, and I need to go and pick up my family and continue the search. So that was it. I didn't.
The big boat, yeah.
We were both grew up in Michigan, or I grew up in Michigan anyway. Had a little bit of small talk about being from Michigan.
You connected,
but that was it.
Connected about Kalamazoo.
Yeah, exactly. So that was about the extent of the small talk. Everything else was just business. I helped him get his boat off anchor. So he pulled up the windlass, got the anchor up, and
you went to the beached dinghy at Marsh Harbor.
Correct.
Hooked it up and towed it across back to here, Elbow Key, where Soulmate was anchored.
Correct.
And he was in the boat with you guys.
He was in his boat. We didn't take him with us. So
you didn't take him. So he came back in a dinghy.
So
no, the dinghy had no power. Wait, how did he get? How did you all get back from the beached dinghy at Marsh Harbor back to here at Elbow Key?
We took a private boat over there. Another member of the department and I took a boat over there, hooked up to his dinghy, towed his dinghy back to Soulmate, which is where Brian was at the time. So he was already on the boat.
Someone else brought him back over to Soulmate?
Correct.
And
interesting.
Tell me what it was like when you were towing the dinghy back, because I think you've got a really good description of what that dinghy was like.
I tell you what, it was. I wouldn't want that thing. It
No.
was
looks like a piece of
If you've
shit.
ever towed a
Looks like a Temu dinghy.
a tube with nobody on it. It was kicking up quite a bit. You could tell it was light. It was more
a Temu dinghy.
More of a sail than a boat. Caught a lot of wind. The waves, we were going into the wind, and it was really not something that I would want to be in any kind of rough seas. So it was a not even a rigid inflatable. It was basically just like a molded fiberglass, really light, sat high out of the water, and that was that was my impression of that thing. It was just kind of a cheaply made dinghy.
And so if you put two people on it, presumably around 150 pounds, and say 200 pounds, you get 350 pounds on that. Big difference, or would you still say still really unstable?
It was a small light dinghy to begin with, so that's not again tough to say in the conditions, but it certainly
and two
wasn't
people that have been
a rugged,
probably
stable
can you imagine
boat to start off with. So again, I'm want to reiterate, I'm mostly concerned with the facts and trying to give every bit of the benefit of the doubt, but it's not impossible that somebody could fall out of that thing, right? That was my impression that if it caught the right wind, it would be a little bit unstable.
Do you remember the winds on Saturday night, April 4th, around 7:30?
I don't, to be honest with you. There was a few other members of the department that were out that night, just out and about, and they commented on the direction and the force of the wind, that it was kind of substantial. And I know it had been windy all week. A lot of people wanted to go fishing that couldn't, that kind of thing. So, but I personally don't remember the exact conditions that night.
From what I understand, captain we've been working with was out that night, said it was about an 18 knot wind. And of course, you're in the lee side. On this side of Elbow Key, it can be screaming over on the other side, but it's nice and protected here. An 18 knot wind, what would it be like just outside that channel at Abacoa?
White caps.
Honestly, it would still probably be about an 18 knot wind. There's, that inlet right there at White Sound, there's not a whole lot of elevation to cut down that wind. So that comes up and then goes right back down.
Okay.
So by the time you're all the way at the end of the channel, there's that wind's not getting cut too much, to be honest.
So the dinghy was light, like a sail, almost like an inner tube, as we see them bouncing in the wind behind a boat. Not very stable. A wind
Looked like a
with
Temu
350 pounds
inflatable
on it.
dinghy
Still,
to me.
You think that could be a plausible story that she just bounced off?
Again, not not likely, but plausible. It could have happened.
Tell me
Yeah.
about,
In my opinion.
in your opinion. Yeah. Well, it's important because you're from here. You know the winds. You know the
One more-
boating
one
lifestyle.
more
You're a boater
jar.
yourself. Fire and rescue.
I live here. I'm not from here.
You live here.
I'm not a local.
I
Let me
think
make
after
that very
10
clear.
years, you can say you're from here.
not
I don't know
exactly.
how. I don't know how long it takes for you to actually be officially from here, but you know a thing
Hi,
or two.
babe.
You know more than I do. That's for sure. Okay, so when you got back to
I'm still
Brian's
live.
boat with the inflatable, well, with the dinghy, take me from there.
We helped him hoist the boat up onto Soulmate, clipped into the dinghy, hoisted it up, gave him his oar back, which he put on Soulmate on his boat.
It's on the. It's now on the sailboat. It's on the keel boat.
Correct.
The oar that was in.
All
the
right,
bottom of the
take care,
dinghy
Crimson.
is now back on the.
Take care, Crimson. Thank you for being here. Thank you for your orders. Thank you, everybody, for your orders. I can hear my phone going ching ding. Thank you so much. Thank you, everybody that have subscribed. I'm going to finish this interview and then I'm going to end the live stream. I'm almost finished my work here and I need to have some dinner.
Keel boat.
And that was it. As I said, there wasn't a ton of small talk. It was just
You hoisted the dinghy up
hoisted
onto.
the dinghy up onto his boat. I was at the helm. I helped him keep the boat facing into the wind while he used the windlass to get the anchor up. He got the anchor up, got the anchor secured, came back, took the helm from me. I jumped back into my colleague's boat and wished him all the best. And he said he was going to, potentially reach out to try and get somebody else that had a boat that could help him and his friends and family continue the search.
He mentioned that to you.
Yes.
And did he ever reach out to you?
He did.
And what did he say?
He was interested in either renting a boat or hiring a boat with the captain. I gave him the names of a couple people around here.
Oh, you're welcome.
And
thank you for being here.
Did he call any of them?
Thank you for hanging with me.
I don't know what came of that, whether he ended up going out with them or not.
I appreciate you so much.
This was all on the Sunday, Easter Sunday.
This
she's
was
gone missing the night before.
This was the Monday.
This was the Monday.
Correct.
So he would have had Monday.
I appreciate
Tuesday,
you
and then
very,
Wednesday he
very
was arrested. He wouldn't have been able to
much.
get out. Yeah.
Not sure.
Thank
Not
you
sure
so
whether he made
much.
it out with anybody or not.
Did he ever say anything to you like, "I'm not leaving here until I find her," or that I plan to search until I find her? Any comments like that?
Yeah, he did. That was his. I wished him the best of luck with his search, and he said, "Well, I'll be around. I'm not leaving until I find her."
He said that to you too.
He did.
Not leaving till I find her.
Mhm.
So were you surprised to find out yesterday he got on a plane and left?
I was actually.
Wow.
There's a lot of things about this situation that surprised me, and that was definitely one.
Thank you, Donna. Thank you,
No,
Susie.
Before we started this interview,
Thank you,
we
Krista,
had
if you're still here.
breakfast here. It's such a lovely spot.
Thank you, Melissa. I love all my mods so much.
Firefly Inn.
It is a lovely place.
Yeah.
Most of the time.
Breakfast. They were here. Earlier in the day. Did anybody from here say anything about them?
No, I personally hadn't heard anything about their activities earlier on. I know that it was confirmed that they were at Abaco Inn that night before they left, and that's honestly all I know. I've the rest is hearsay. I've heard they were here, but I haven't heard that directly from anybody that saw them here.
I've asked as many people as I can. They seemed somewhat nondescript, like they didn't make a huge impression. And sometimes in stories like this, we'll hear they had a huge fight, they were drunk, and he was mad or she was mad. But we haven't heard anything like that. Has anybody discussed that? Have you heard on the island that there was a particular behavior that was unique before she went missing?
I've heard a lot of rumors about a lot of things on this island, and about this case in particular, but I haven't heard that from anybody yet.
I haven't either, and I've spoken to people who were at the Abaco Inn.
Shit.
A guy last night who worked there that night and didn't even know that they were there, didn't recognize the description of this couple. They spent some time at the pool, had 2 rounds of drinks. That's it. Bacardi Light. and soda each. And there was no other big bold moment that was memorable, which is surprising given the, if the,
You weren't drunk, eh? Really?
if some of the theories that the police are working turn out to be that there was actually an attack, if there was something like that that happened, you would think something would precede that.
Yeah.
And I'm not hearing.
I haven't heard that from anyone.
The other thing
Okay.
I talked with.
No, I'm gonna
some
do
of the
it
law enforcement
another
folks
day,
about
Holly.
is
I'm
This is the sea.
I'm
of
on.
Abaco.
I've been
It's
on for a
very
couple
shallow.
hours now.
I was out on the boat. I could see the bottom all the way across.
3 hours, so I'm gonna
If
call it for the night.
There were a body in the Sea of Abaco. You guys always find it, don't you? I mean, it's not.
We will
often
do
that you
Nancy
don't
tomorrow.
find someone who's gone overboard or had a drowning or.
I'm gonna do some member stuff tomorrow too.
Look,
I'm
every
not sure what my
situation's different.
schedule is going to be yet.
We haven't had any instances in the last 10 years of anybody going missing at sea and not being found. There was one here in 2015 where a young man, a local guy, went missing off of his boat and his body was never found.
This Marsh Harbor, right?
Correct.
Across the way?
That's over in Marsh Harbor.
And
So
there's deeper water over there.
Yep,
not really.
exactly.
No. No, it's pretty
Tomorrow,
shallow between
baby.
here
It's
and-
been a long
and
day.
The mainland or the big island of Great Abaco. But we did, on that Monday, on the Sunday, after myself and another member of the department helped after we did our initial canvassing of the Marsh Harbor side, so to the north and south of where the dinghy was found, we went back just here to where she allegedly went over, started there and basically did about a 40-degree cone of where she went over.
Measuring the wind out,
and
the possibilities of the wind.
correct.
Right?
And we kind of did a triangle between the entrance to White Sound Channel, which is where
Thank
she
you all for
went
being
off
here.
the boat, the
I'm
north end
working
of
still.
Lovers, and
I'm almost
a
done.
little rock called Porgy Rock, which basically kind of made a triangle right in that area, which was, you just kind of think if somebody got disoriented and things weren't exactly,
Oh my God, Tara,
didn't happen
really?
where he said they did or whatever. We
Second time
canvassed that
today.
area for another 2 hours. That triangle, and then in between it, back and forth, I was on the front of the boat, just checking the ground, looking for anything.
You'd see it. You'd see a body if the body was in there, right?
I
so clear. The water's so
certainly
shallow and
believe
clear.
so. The water's pretty clear around here and fairly shallow. So
There were
if
also drones up, and there was aircraft and sonar that was used.
U.S. Coast Guard did bring an aircraft over. They flew a grid as well, from Marsh Harbor to where
Do an act of kind. That I love that. Tomorrow, do an act of kindness for someone. That's great. All right, I'm gonna let you guys go. Yep, I'm gonna let you guys go. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for all your orders. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for hitting the like button. Thank you for just hanging out with me. I enjoy your company, and I will see all of you tomorrow sometime. All right. Have a good night. Okay. Bye.